information. So I'm gonna
Hey guys,
oh,
we are
and you guys are live too.
live.
That's awesome.
We just had a brief tornado here in
Okay.
Oklahoma. It was on the
Pagey,
ground for just a bit,
Storm
and it
Media.
looks like it's
Okay.
picked back up, but
Where is Pagey, by the
it's
way?
possible this thing may drop again.
Do I even have her? There's Storm Media, and that's Pagey. Okay, so they're near Bryan County, so they're way south. Okay.
Pretty early in the day, I'd say, but
All right.
not really.
Let me do some switcherooing
It's
here
about
while we have
4:30 in the
Pagey live.
afternoon there. This one just barely missed Paul's Valley. Storm's
Sorry about
cranking.
that. There's Storm Media.
Everybody was getting really excited about it. Storm chasers were, at least.
Here.
This thing was just down here near Paul's Valley in Oklahoma.
And then I want AG tornado down here.
Right smack dab between Paoli and Paul Valley right now. Somewhere up in this area here.
All right, yeah. Latest scan on this storm.
Still has a well-defined hook.
Storm has officially occluded, and the tornado is off of the ground. Still keeping an eye on this storm. Its movement is very important. See how it's moving to the southeast? That's how our boundary is oriented.
Looking pretty suspicious, I'd say.
From our boundary.
It's kind of dropped its rotation a bit here lately. We do have a ton of interference here, so we might not be able to see the rotation that well.
Although it doesn't look dangerous now, definitely
You can see it here that it was really condensing the rotation right here. We had a really tight gate-to-gate shear. I mean, this thing could be dropping again at any moment.
Look at this view from Storm Media. That's the storm.
So this is a view of the storm right there. This is Evan Freiberger's stream that I'm popping up right here. He's another really good weather streamer. I have a link of him in the description as well. Man, my goodness, that storm yesterday. Woo! I want to look at some of the drone footage from the tornado that hit St. Louis yesterday. That was crazy. I don't know how many fatalities we had. Last I heard it was 4, but I think there might be more. Check.
I don't even think it ever fully condensed. It was always half condensed.
Yeah, we just seen this thing on the ground not too long ago.
It didn't have much of a wall cloud, to be honest. It had a little.
Hey, look who's live. Max Velocity is live. All right, I'm gonna pull him. I miss Max.
Yeah, I could easily.
Been watching Max for like so religiously now that like I hardly ever watch Ryan Hall anymore. I don't know. I guess everybody just has their guy, and Max is my guy. Let me pull up Max Velocity.
Let's go all the way back. You see how wide the inflow?
I love all the weather streamers. Max is just the guy I watch more. All right, where is Max Velocity? I believe he's live. Popped up live on my phone. Yep, there he is. Yep, Max.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
So it's a good view of the storm too. We do have a new tornado warning. That is going to be for Stratford, just northeast of Pauls Valley. If you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter.
Like it's still rotating there, but
and get to an interior room of your home or building.
Not nearly as condensed as it was. Let's get a 3D view of this thing.
On the ground right now, and it's not super organized. But this is a discrete supercell, and it's still around and just to the south of our warm frontal boundary, which means it's still in an unfavorable environment with lots of wind shear. So there's a chance that this could try to drop a tornado, and I wouldn't even rule out a strong tornado as this moves.
It was just on the ground not too long ago.
You need to make sure that you're in your safe place, get away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. If you're
right down here.
Or near your safe place right now, you're still good for right now. But I do think that
Kind of going up in through here.
This area. This is really going to be the main supercell
where the tornado just was.
that produces the threat of a tornado as it
I mean, you can literally see the tiny little area where it dropped down at right there.
Supercell that's been going near Cato in Oklahoma. This thing's really tried for some time now to try to do something. Hasn't really had much success, but there's a little.
Yeah, I want to go pull some footage up from yesterday.
And that could maybe try to produce a threat for a tornado as that moves in.
Look at some of this drone footage we had yesterday of the tornado. This was in Oklahoma or St. Louis. This thing absolutely did some big damage in town there.
That we could get a couple of tornadoes in this region, large hail, and the threat also for damaging winds. And then back over North Texas, we're still
can't believe it. That house got completely destroyed.
Tornado risk, it's not zero, but generally speaking, these storms have been.
When we were watching this tornado yesterday on the stream, it was. That's probably when, because it was at an EF 3.5 strength for a while, for like the first 2 minutes. And that's obviously, we're looking at, so it looks like the really bad damage that this thing did for a while.
Normal tornado warning for those in Stratford and just northeast of Pauls Valley. Velocities on radar, let me go back to radar here. Velocities on radar, if you look at the hook echo, that's where we're looking for rotation.
Friday severe weather.
Rotation is very weak and it looks to be outflowy again. And that happens.
My goodness. That's a brick house too. Yeah, that tornado was violent for just a brief while. That tornado was violent for about 2 to 3 minutes while I was on the ground. I cannot look at all those bricks all over. My goodness. Oh my goodness, that house got completely smashed in. Oh, and it's crazy that this house is completely shredded and the one right next to it is. That is unreal. It was really small. I mean, it was very strong, but really small. Unreal. Unreal.
Are any storm chasers singing today? Is that what? Thank you, Leah, for the 10 gifted memberships. Really appreciate that. Also, thank you, Holly, for the super chat.
Leaves as well. And then let's take you to the central west end,
Where
where uprooted trees there, the bricks spalled off of the side of the building there, the whole root ball being toppled. And important to note, these trees now have a full growth, a full sail of leaves, and are just like a canopy that when that wind at 60 to 70 miles per hour, higher in some cases, they just take off and topple over onto the power lines with we've had reports of over 100,000 people in Metro St. Louis without power. So we'll take you to that's the central west end. Fence and trees in Richmond Heights. And notice that one blocking traffic. That's going to be a problem until crews can cut up and remove those big trees and haul them away. You're not going to be able to get through that particular street with fences and trees damaged by the fallen trees in the area of the Richmond Heights area. And this is the fence and tree that is just smashed down, and the tree's going to have to be cut up and removed before they can get back to normal in that area of Richmond Heights. And a very sturdy fence. It looks like one of those metal fences.
We're looking at some of the damage from yesterday in St. Louis, but we're also watching this tornadic storm here in Oklahoma. Right here, it's South Oklahoma City near Pauls Valley, heading towards Stratford. This thing had dropped a tornado briefly for a little bit, and it has ecluded, but this thing still has a pretty nasty hook, and it is still rotating.
Thing is really pumping. I mean, we've had a pretty strong inflow.
We're going to keep a close eye on it for now.
All right, Connor's going to reposition.
I don't know how many people got hurt yesterday or what.
Fences in the Richmond Heights area. Glenn?
So yeah, just some of the initial pictures and videos that we're getting into our newsroom. The damage has been extensive. In and out of the storm was our extreme weather specialist, Chris Higgins, with the Woods Basement System Storm Runner. He was in the hail and then in the wind, and now is in the Forest Park area with what has been really a devastating storm for the central part of Metro St. Louis. Chris?
Yeah, we've made our way to the north side of Forest Park. In fact, we can see Lindell, but unfortunately, as I understand it, Lindell, we just had a park ranger actually come by. He said, "How'd you guys get in here? Lindell's closed." Yeah, we came in from the other side, and that's how we were able to get here. But Lindell is closed. It is almost impossible to get in or around Forest Park right now. We are on one of the circle drives. I'm not we're at Union Drive, and the other part of the sign got blown away, so I can't tell you. This tree, when we pulled up just a little bit ago, this huge oak tree was laid out across the street. You've got St. Louis City street departments here on the scene.
Tornado kind of went through here like this,
piece by piece, with the
yesterday.
chainsaws.
It's on the ground from here to here. There's Forest Park right here.
That's just one tree, guys. There are trees down all over Forest Park. There are trees down on roads. And again, many of these roads are closed. Take a look over here in the distance. We've got folks trying to get through here. We've seen some folks from Barnes Jewish come through here trying to get home.
So Forest Park was when it was at like EF3 strength.
It's easier to walk today considering the damage and the issues they have. I did hear from a source.
When we were watching the tornado radar yesterday, it had like an EF 3.5 strength from like here to here. And then from like over here to here, it went down to like EF 1.5 strength.
Trying to go through
but it was
here
really strong in this area yesterday.
With automobiles or with bicycles, and the crews are not happy with that move at all because of the danger it presents. So they're closing that down. So no more folks, pedestrians, try and go through there. As I was mentioning, we heard from a source over BJC. There was some damage over there. Apparently, at least one window may have been blown out at the hospital. I don't know of any other additional damage there. But we did have several witnesses report seeing the debris get lofted up in the air as it came through this part of Forest Park. And even as we stand here,
they don't have any good footage on
with
this
another
station
big
here.
round of equipment, a chipper shredder here. They're going to pick up this tree and start doing faster dispatch as they roll it through the back of this chipper. But a huge cleanup effort and a long way to go. I understand St. Louis City is going to have a press briefing surrounding this storm damage coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. So in about 15 minutes or so, I think the newsroom has that information as well. But
hey, Chris,
power outages, trees down. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt. I know that we're all having sort of communication technical issues. The feed that you're sending us currently is just your, I believe it's one of the roof cams.
Shout out to Zombie with
the see any of the damage.
Super chat, sending out my thoughts and prayers to the victims of the tornado outbreak from yesterday. Yeah, yesterday again was unbelievable. And as Riley already alluded to, again, almost all the tornado deaths yesterday were in
Here's some pictures that we're showing you right now in the city of St. Louis. That's the St. Louis Fire Department. And they are on the scene of what appears to be a partial building collapse down in this area as well. And a friendly.
It doesn't look nearly as bad as the drone footage. Drone footage looked really good.
By the way, I want to throw this out there. There's a lot of storm chasers on this storm. Look at all the cars here on the left. It is a storm chasing convergence right now on this singular supercell in Oklahoma. And
this one.
Aftermath of the storm is just.
I'm going to pull this up on here.
That's unreal.
You can actually see all the different storm chasers that are on this singular supercell.
I know that one brick house I seen just got completely demolished. That was unreal.
These little red dots are storm chasers. So you see all these little red dots here? Those are all storm chasers, all inside this tornado warning. We've probably got about 4 dozen.
Yeah, this is the one I believe. Yeah, this one is nuts.
Has a really good view now of this. Look at this.
These big giant buildings got destroyed, but there's a couple houses like that one. Look at that! Oh my goodness, that takes a very powerful tornado to do that to a house. But I see some of the damages here towards the end. Like, I mean, this thing was actually destroying brick buildings. It's unreal how powerful that tornado was for a while there in Forest Park. Yeah, this house has got beat up. I think is that house right here that can completely, like the tornado went right over through this house right there.
Tornado warning has been issued.
No, that's not it.
All right, we have a brand new tornado warning for Atoka County in Oklahoma. That's back
Atoka County.
Caddo. This is a storm that we were just talking about a few minutes ago, northeast of.
We got a second tornado warning now.
Again, this one's been rotating quite a bit here for some time. There is definitely a couplet on this storm.
Yeah, this house. Oh my
goodness. This is more of our mid-level rotation since our radar site is just so far down to the southwest. So if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter, get away from windows, lowest floor possible.
I don't know how many fatalities there were.
This is moving off to the east northeast. It's near Canny.
It looks like a really, really thin tornado. That house is completely gone. That thing is completely done. Brick house. That's crazy. Unreal.
Through Canny, Tallahoe, Cook, and Bentley. That's
My
again,
goodness,
Oklahoma.
that
Back
damage.
over North Texas, just off to the west of Flower Mound.
We have 2 tornado warnings now here in Oklahoma. So they just tornado warned this one down here by Atoka.
They just reported back over from broadcast media.
This one doesn't look nearly as bad. It was on the ground for a brief moment. It might be recycling. Let me go ahead and get a second radar going on down there. Stir strap. Yeah, right now I am. This is live right here. What we're watching is live. I was just looking at some of the drone footage from yesterday when we were streaming. A tornado literally formed and dropped right on top of St. Louis. It was yesterday. And from what I heard, there was 4 fatalities so far. I don't know if there's more, but man, it was bad. Like, it's not very often you see a big violent tornado drop on a big city like that. It's pretty crazy what happened yesterday. And it wasn't even like tornado warned for a while. Like, all of a sudden there were some big storms on top of St. Louis, and next thing you know, it dropped a tornado. It was crazy out of nowhere. Caught a lot of people off guard. How you doing, sweaties? Welcome to the stream. Today's threat doesn't look too bad. Let me actually pull up our SPC outlook for the day so we can kind of see what we're dealing with. We'll refresh this too so we can kind of see what all storms we have here. Yeah, we just pretty much have a couple storms here in Oklahoma and a couple down here in Texas. Let me pull up our tornado threat for today. I haven't even looked yet since yesterday, so SPC outlook from Pivotal Weather.
Still large lowering. This was a storm that produced a tornado at the very beginning of this stream. Near Highway 19 north of Pauls Valley.
Day 1 tornado.
For 4 minutes. As we've already alluded to, the environment is very favorable for tornadoes. If this storm can stay discreet and it's also not outflow dominant, it's been pretty outflowy here for a while.
So this is a tornado threat for today. So we actually have a 2% chance up in New York, Vermont and stuff. We do have a 2% chance of tornadoes up there today. And then we have a 2% chance in a lot of Texas, most of Oklahoma, a little bit of Arkansas, a bit of Louisiana, and then a 5% chance here in northeast Texas and central Oklahoma. So it's a good chance we might see some tornadoes today. It's not like an extremely dangerous day, but I mean, it's definitely, we have a chance of seeing some tornadoes. And this is basically just where we're expecting to see some severe thunderstorms today. A lot of places are going to get hit by thunderstorms today.
Hey, Wyatt, for becoming a member, welcome to the Velocities. It's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday to your wife.
Where? Okay, also yesterday I was in Marion because I was going to Lake of Egypt and there was a crazy storm. Where? Marion where? I know of a Marion in Ohio, but I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I got to pull up a second radar for this new tornado warning storm. Might have to reorganize. Yeah, this radar is not in the right place. I got to scoot it over a little bit here.
Little rainbow here on the back side.
Quite a few radars open. I just don't have this one connected yet.
Wall cloud and also the inflow coming in from right to left. The storm's again currently tracking to Stratford over the next 5 minutes, and then eventually going towards Ada, Oklahoma, Bing, and just north of Roof.
I don't think we have a closer radar to this one. I think we're going to have to look at it from Oklahoma City. Dallas radar is pretty far from it too. Yeah, this is kind of in a bad spot, this storm. Really only see it from Oklahoma City. Pretty sure TDFW is just the airport radar. Yeah, it's a short range one.
Look at that supercell. Look at the structure up there.
At the bottom right of your screen, you can still see the
connected over here just for that. Let's go back to the Oklahoma City radar. Justice, so the Milwaukee just going. There we go.
By the way, the National Weather Service of Norman has just put out.
There's a lot of interference down here in this storm.
Graphic, if I can pull it
Oh, Marion, Illinois. Okay.
Tornado threat is increasing right now.
Was there a tornado there in Illinois yesterday? I know we had tons of tornadoes yesterday. The worst of it was in like southern Illinois, I believe.
Make sure that you have multiple ways to receive warnings.
Let me pull it up.
Tornado action plan ready to go. And if you're in a mobile home, you might want to go to a sturdy structure. Probably a good idea to do so if you're anywhere in Ada right now, as this storm is trying to gear up for another tornado. If it does produce one, it definitely could be a significant one. Also, there was after
we stopped streaming last night too, late in the evening, about 12:30, 1 o'clock, there was a tornado in Kentucky as well. It didn't even get warned. It went through an entire town. Well, it had a tornado warning, but it got upgraded to a PDS after it went through a town. Drone footage of the tornado in Marion, Illinois.
A little over an hour ago, but it's still relevant for now because they have mentioned that there is a chance for even
tornadoes. St. Louis, Missouri leave multiple dead. Oh, this is Missouri.
There's still a chance for strong tornadoes in
south of Marion. Video of tornadoes south of Marion, Illinois.
Also, the threat for hail as large as 3.5 inches in diameter is still in play. We had upwards of baseball-sized hail on the west side of the Oklahoma City metro not too long ago, and then up to 80-mile-per-hour damage.
I don't know if we have any damage showing from that, but that was the one yesterday.
If you are in North Texas, so right around Dallas, Fort Worth, Denton,
videos from Cody Hutchison, a tornado spot south of Marion, Illinois. This was yesterday, 21 hours ago.
And there's still a low chance for a tornado. The strong tornado potential is fairly low down here, but it's not zero.
I don't know if we got to see that one on the radar.
Tornado risk is the one just to the west there of Denton.
There's a crazy drone shot of it. Let me see if I can find it.
Super concerned about that as of right now, but obviously, if anything,
drone shot of the tornado or the damage it did.
You know, but it's more of a wind and hail threat for the time being. If we go back down to that storm real quickly, they again just reported, at least back over from broadcast media, that there are 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds and also ping-pong ball-sized hail with this storm. The worst of it is right now moving into Bridgeport, Texas, Chico, Melford, and Decatur. Also, a good amount of lightning with this, so be indoors if you're anywhere near this supercell. Even if you're back over in Denton County, we could even have some lightning strikes even on the west side.
Oh yeah, I remember the tornadoes going through there yesterday. There was a point where we had like 4 or 5 PDS warnings at once. We had tornadoes down everywhere. The one that just really stuck out was the one in St. Louis, because it was, you know, like a lot of the tornadoes aren't necessarily on top of towns or cities, and they're out in the middle of nowhere. But
just to the south of Dallas, Fort Worth,
we had multiple areas get hit by tornadoes yesterday. Closed tornado crossing road at Marion, Illinois.
Supercells on the bottom right of your screen again. This is going to be heading into the town of Stratford over the next 5 minutes.
This was from Marion, Illinois yesterday, too. Let's see if we can... Tornado crosses road, North Refuge Road, and south of Marion, Illinois.
Ian with the $20 Venmo donation. I just placed my Culver's order before you went live, and yes, I ordered cheese curds. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the Venmo donation. Bro is making the curse live on.
Oh yeah, this thing's definitely got some rotation down here.
Pretty much underneath the Hook Gecko right now. That's where Nathan is. You can see it on the bottom right of your screen. That's where he is right
This one is still rotating.
Less organized over the last few minutes, but it might still be trying to gear up and cycle here. As
this thing was on the ground for a little bit. There was a storm chaser on it. I was watching Evan Freiberger when this thing was actually down on the ground.
Lightning? There is some lightning. Believe it or not, if we look at radar right now, the lightning is actually up to the...
Take another 3D look at the storm, see if we can...
Lightning strikes to the north. We have very little
lightning. Anything more pronounced inside this.
This is actually a left splitting storm, so this one's not really anything tornado-wise concerning, but it is going to continue to produce a little bit of hail and wind potential. Nothing severe at this time. This storm is moving more to the east, which is a right-hand moving supercell. These ones favor...
Looks like it's trying.
And we're definitely seeing that right now. Stormer Media has a very ominous shot here.
You know, a lot of the rotation's up higher in the sky, but I mean... There's a lot of winds here. Wow, this thing's rotating from like 60,000 feet all the way down to about 22,000 feet or so. Really hasn't dropped much further down with the higher velocities, though. As I slow down the velocities, you can see it coming down even more. But that's much lower velocity, so most of its rotation's in the upper levels at the moment still.
Yeah, back over in New England again. We do have actual severe weather.
There were homes flattened on
mostly
Tyler Court.
Chance of a brief tornado going towards Bartlett and Bretton Woods. Back over in my home state.
Storms coming up in Kansas?
That's where I was born.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go to the national radar real quick so I know which one I need to connect to.
It's gotten weaker over the last few scans, not nearly as concerning north of Caddo, but continue to stay in your safe place as long as this tornado warning's here. It still includes Caney, Cook, and Bentley. They also issued a severe warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Nothing in the Kansas at the moment. I mean, we got these rain showers heading in. They might get bigger. Let me pull up the outlook for you real quick.
Not too long ago from a supercell that has now fully weakened out.
This, let me change it to tornado threat for you.
But storms could initiate again in a little bit.
Kansas really isn't in the tornado threat today. You might see some thunderstorms, but this is where our tornado threat is. Just the very tip of the southern tip of Kansas. But sometimes you will see tornadoes outside of these areas, but most likely the tornado is going to be mostly inside this area. But you do have some rain showers coming into Kansas. I mean, you're definitely going to get some weather today. Going to get at least some rain showers and stuff, thunderstorms possibly. Let me look at the categorical. So you're definitely expected to see some thunderstorms in Kansas today, but nothing, shouldn't be anything severe in Kansas.
Actually, that's a good shot right here.
Right now, these are pretty much the only storms that are a possible threat at the moment. These guys are here. And we do have a 2% chance up in New York, but I don't know if that's going to be happening anytime soon because these are just rain showers at the time being.
Doesn't appear imminent, even though it looks pretty sus right now.
No problem, Tom. Stop in anytime, man.
Hey, more game for the super chat. Last night, you noticed a possible tornado in Dundalk, Maryland, and there was confirmation that tornado.
Oh wow, look at this.
I'm glad I could help you out with that. And
what in the world is going on with this little guy? This is just a little blip spinning like crazy.
Not too surprising that we had a tornado there.
Thing trying to throw down already. It might have been radar interference.
By the way, on this tornado warning right now,
definitely rotating down here at the back end, though.
We have 69 spotter dots. What that basically means is that there are at least 69 storm.
This purple right here is radar interference, so something's shaking the radar, or something's gone.
That's pretty crazy.
How you doing, St. Louis? I tried to ask you yesterday, how close were you to the tornado yesterday, St. Louis? We were just looking at drone footage of St. Louis. All the tornado damage that happened yesterday. I'm trying to find where the drone footage was in Marion.
Still see above his head right here. This is
Western Wisconsin. That was Wisconsin.
Tornado, which right now again it does not look imminent.
All I'm finding right now is just drone footage of St. Louis. Drone. Oh, that's 6 years ago. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve, for the super chat.
Let me turn the search on for only like last 24 hours.
No problem. Appreciate you tuning in.
Up here, and there's also another one back. Sucking up a lot of scud up underneath it too. See the mezzo like right there.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, you even have a little bit of like a clear slide.
You can link it to me in chat. I try to find the. Try to find that the drone footage of that.
Still has a chance it could cycle here.
Yeah, I see that rising scud over there, and I'm like,
might be cycling.
What's going on over that way?
Why is it always the message retracted when you say something? I don't know what you type. You have that message retracted bug thing. I have to look at it right away or I miss it.
Of course, I can't load velocity now.
Hey, Eden, for becoming a member. When is DFW getting hit? Within the next hour. Within the next hour, if we get anything in DFW, be within
Yeah,
the next
I mean,
hour.
national weather. I was not in St. Louis when that happened, but the person moderating in chat yesterday on this channel was. Said it was 5 miles north of the headquarters. Oh my goodness.
And so what we have right now basically is just a few little weak storms that are moving through. Nothing that's currently severe.
Well, I'm glad you guys are all right, because I was really worried because you weren't here when that happened.
For wind. We actually have a little bit of higher pocket of wind there near North Lake and Argyle, right along I-35. So there could be a severe warning here in a moment for Denton County. But back over in Dallas-Fort Worth, we have a few showers passing by, and this should actually create a
I'm very relieved
here across areas like Fort Worth and Dallas to kind of prevent any sort of significant severe weather from happening. Also,
I think this thing might be picking back up again. This one that's almost on Stratford. Looks like it might be trying to recycle.
Right now, and then back over northwest of Denton in Decatur, Bridgeport, just southwest of Gainesville. Currently looking at golf.
I can pull up that footage real quick again.
Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, we just got a new tornado from yesterday added into the NWS damage assessment toolkit. So I believe this is what people.
Oh my God!
Sikeston tornado. Sikeston's down here south of it.
This was the one in Kentucky that happened at midnight.
Missouri. They haven't officially.
Oh my God, that is so bad.
We can't see the path that it took, but it was something a little bit like this. The strongest damage.
This only had a normal tornado warning. There was a debris ball going all the way across this town last night, and I know Max Velocity and Ryan Hall were both like really upset that he didn't upgrade it, and they upgraded it to a PDS warning after it went completely through this town. Oh my goodness!
It does not seem like the NWS has confirmed any fatalities directly.
They have no power. All you see is the police lights. Unreal.
Name this event and put the line in there, but if we do get more information on that, I will update you there.
Thank you, Riley, for the update, and it's a miracle that nobody was injured or.
At least an EF4 tornado struck the city of London, Kentucky overnight.
Devastating. That looks like somebody's home that is now basically unlivable in right now. Back over here in southeast Missouri, and then just significant damage across the board. So unfortunately, that is one of the many.
Oh my goodness, they're trying to flip that car over right there.
Both Missouri or even Kentucky, where there's basically been
London,
catastrophic
Kentucky.
damage. I would have to go ahead and say that's pretty close to catastrophic damage there. I mean, that's going to take a long time to rebuild that area.
This was absolutely the worst tornado I think yesterday. This thing was big too. I mean, that debris ball was huge last night.
Missouri. All right, back to our tornado warning. This is, again, our tornado warning right now located over Stratford, Oklahoma, going towards Ada. This is still a discrete supercell. Right now, does not look super organized.
Yeah, these guys didn't get Amber Alerts or anything. I hope they at least got the sirens off.
It is radar indicated. I still think this has a chance of producing a tornado as it continues
goodness.
to
Is that like just hardwood floors?
Still a very favorable environment here in southern Oklahoma. The tornado warning in southeast Oklahoma for Atoka has been canceled, so we no longer have a tornado warning here.
Looks like all that's left is hardwood floors. My goodness.
There you go, for Denton County.
There's people probably sleeping in these houses. That is, oh my goodness.
The southwest side of Denton, coming up towards Crum and I-35.
I wonder how bad the injuries were here.
Possible if you are in Denton County. There's been a big surge of wind just within the last couple minutes. Some isolated power outages are possible. And then back over near Decatur, we have a big surge of wind going right through the downtown area of Decatur right now, heading up towards Roston.
There's so many ambulance and police vehicles. We probably had a lot of injuries.
That'll eventually track towards the Red
River. It was 11
Valley,
ago.
Definitely not done with severe weather here over the next few hours.
That's first thing this morning.
Also, this is our tornado that we had at the beginning of the stream. Just the tornado report now coming in back over I-35. It was on the ground.
Yeah, this thing was down on the ground for a while.
Just to the north there, Pauls Valley. Hit possibly a few little buildings, mostly trees in this area.
So, look, they have all along the line of this tornado. There's more emergency vehicles down here. You can see flashers all the way up there.
Maybe here in the near future. Still in a very favorable environment, probably at least for the next hour or two. Go back over to Connor. Thank you, Dark
more?
Congratulations on graduating. I appreciate that.
Unreal.
And he's going through a low signal area. We'll go back over to Stormrunner Media.
We had a lot of really bad tornadoes yesterday.
Right now. Alrighty.
I just really haven't
Thank you also, Joseph, the super chat.
Look, because I know I think we might have broke records yesterday on the most PDS warnings at one time or something like that.
Stormrunner should be getting a better...
Sadly, I know there was at least 4 people that died in St. Louis.
They have a good view, it's just low signal. I don't know if they're going to come back here in the next second or two.
Let me pull it up.
This looks like some serious contamination near Stratford. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning back over in Mississippi, by the way. They did issue a severe watch here for parts of Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana, mainly for wind and hail.
So
this storm just
the death toll rises to 18 people total from yesterday,
That's heading towards Highway
4 hours ago.
Vicksburg. There was a little area
Following a news from Governor Beshear that 14 people have been confirmed dead after an intense storm hit the state.
Severe storm in southern Alabama heading towards Georgiana, south of Greenville, for wind and hail. Tornado risk, again, anywhere in this general area is basically zero. I'm not expecting much of a tornado risk in those areas. Also, we got a new damage report just west of Killeen.
Volusia County.
Here heading up towards San Saba, just west of Lampasas. This actually is a report in Mason, Texas, of a power line down, which is now inactive. So expect some power outages, even if you're back over just north.
Well, Lee, the scene is hard to describe here in Laurel County. What should be neighborhoods and homes looks like more of a junkyard. As Bill said, at least 17 have been confirmed dead, and we just learned that that includes a Laurel County firefighter. Officials say Major Roger Leslie Leatherman was fatally injured while responding to help those in need last night. We're here at the London Corbin Airport, one of the hardest hit places in Laurel County. It is extremely windy out here. Debris
18
is still
fatalities
flying.
just from London last
entire
night.
choppers and airplanes behind me, removing
not
them
even
from
counting,
a pile of debris. And if you can
not even counting
see
St.
the
Louis.
buildings here that have been flattened, then you can imagine what the mobile homes nearby look like. Simply put, Laurel County has been devastated.
It's pouring the rain and debris everywhere. A tornado just went through and we're being told a possible another one's fixing to come.
It was very chaotic, besides the fact that we were all scared to death. The radios were going nonstop. The scanner was chaotic. It was such a tragedy to hear.
Like a train barreling through, Laurel County heard the sound of destruction. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone here who was able to sleep last night.
When we thought it was done, another one would hit. So it felt like it lasted literally for 8 hours. It was the worst experience of my life.
As the twister moved from Pulaski to Laurel, it leveled entire neighborhoods. Here at the London Corbin Airport, choppers picked up and thrown like toys. As for the people, Mayor Randall Weddle estimates first responders rescued more than 75 locals.
We were so focused on trying to find the people, and it's raining. Emotions were high because we all just witnessed this train come through and rip through the county and into the southern portion of the city. Houses were turned into toothpicks.
Are still hanging low right now.
Yeah, this is the one from St. Louis Weather Club.
Yep, cross kind of just.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't get pictures. Got on the live stream.
That was from where? This video is taken by an admin in a research facility in downtown St. Louis.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to organize again. This might be trying to drop again here in the next few minutes. It's been recycling for quite some time. Velocities on radar really aren't that strong right now, but I mean,
this whole storm's starting to rotate up here.
Okay, so this is the update on the Sykeston tornado. There have been at least 2 fatalities, but the National Weather Service has not confirmed if they were directly associated with the tornado, at least according to the damage assessment toolkit. There's a tornado. Or is he playing audio? Oh, he's playing somebody's audio. What?
Did anybody find the drone footage of Marion, Illinois? I couldn't seem to find that.
It's still a good view. I say it did not look like a
I
tornado.
can't. Man, Lebanon got hit hard.
But the top right,
I cannot believe how bad the damage is there. Here it is, Marion, Illinois. Okay, I found it. This one happened a bit earlier. This was like, I'd say around 8 o'clock. Roughly. Oh my goodness.
It's definitely rotating. This thing's organizing quickly.
This was another one of those PDS tornado warnings from yesterday. Oh my goodness, man. There is just debris everywhere.
Starting to ramp up. It's coming together right now near Stratford, Oklahoma. This is going to be going towards Ada and Fitzhugh.
Just resubscribed for 8 months.
I can't believe how much damage happened yesterday. There were so many bad tornadoes in so many areas with lots of houses.
Velocities are not really that strong yet.
There's nothing left. That house has. There's nothing. Just the foundation. I don't know what this circle is. Is that a pool?
It's definitely spinning on the right. It's been spinning on the right quite a bit now. Not super organized.
I think that's a pool. Yeah, because there's like a deck.
It's gonna still be a few minutes.
They have a deck in the back of the house going to a pool. Oh my goodness, man! I hope there wasn't people in that house.
This is now, yeah. The storm is actually over Stratford with the ping pong ball-sized hail threat, but
I mean, it looks like we're at multiple
is now more south of Stratford.
EF4 plus. I don't know. These radar or the tornadoes didn't look this strong on the radar.
The storm's been kind of going more to the southeast over the last several minutes rather than east. But yeah, it's definitely rotating right now.
Unreal. I mean, some of them looked really strong, but fine. I mean, we just really didn't get a good look at all the velocities on every single tornado yesterday because there were so many PDS tornadoes at one time. A lot of them weren't even showing up on the radar. Like, we were seeing the actual rotations inside the base reflectivity. We were seeing the actual, it looked like a hail core.
I don't think it's yet going to drop, but I do think in the next few minutes it could try to drop something as it goes towards Fitzhugh and Rough. Storm Intermediate is also coming up.
We also had we had one tornado emergency yesterday as well.
Down to the southeast, going towards Fitzhugh.
I don't know why that's happening. I tried Googling that for you a couple weeks ago. I can read them, but like it's something on your end, I think.
Not looking crazy. We definitely have more of a strong RFD search here near 3370 Road. Not much of an inflow still, but it's definitely
only you can retract your messages. You need to check in your settings. Maybe you have it set to where your messages only show for a little bit of time or something.
Also heading towards Highway 19. That could actually impact Ada. So if you're over in Ada, be prepared for a little bit of large hail. It's not guaranteed, but it is definitely
check. Go mess with all your YouTube settings. See if you can find something, because it doesn't do it right away. I can always read what you say, but then it goes message retracted after like a minute or something.
Connor has had a chaser convergence. It is a chaser convergence here in Oklahoma right now.
To the left of the road, but
hey, Psycho for the super chat. I heard trees are down on Highway 380 between Bridgeport and Decatur. Thank you for the report.
I gotta go, dude.
And unfortunately, I do think that's.
Marion, Illinois did definitely get it really bad. This might have been where one of the tornado emergencies was. My goodness.
He's gonna get past these trees fast, but
couple houses were sapped. That's unreal power.
Right beyond the tree line. Look at that.
This is actually starting to get really condensed right here.
Wow.
This might be trying to drop soon.
It's very scuddy right now, but the rotation's been picking up on radar a little bit.
Or look at the SRV.
Not super organized yet. More sus.
I think we got something happening here.
Is like still imminent, but I think it could happen in the next.
See if I can get a good 3D view of this now.
Southeast.
Yeah. See, we're getting really strong velocities like you're seeing up here, and then it's reaching down to back here. But like it's really cranking up high. That's why it looks like we're seeing a rotation in different areas. It's doing the stair-stepping thing. This thing might be getting ready to drop a tornado.
Go back over to Nathan.
You have really high, tight velocities in the upper levels right here.
We're gonna go to the 3 cam view. Wait till somebody gets a little bit better of a look at this storm. Once again, this is what the supercell looks like. Another thing I want to point out, by the way, the hail core is actually.
Oh my, yeah, it's getting even stronger. I think this thing's going to try to drop a tornado.
The city of Stratford. So we are definitely talking about
the upper levels are just cranking right here.
Hail, maybe even 2-inch size hail, tracking towards Fitzhugh and Ada over the next few minutes.
It might not even show. Maybe we can only see the up velocities because look at all this radar interference right here. All this purple's basically messing up the scan, but I think our tornado's going to drop down like right in here. But yeah, like at the top of the storm, it's here, and where it's coming down to the ground, it's right here.
I think it's going to have to sort of morph a little bit and sort of congeal back together before it has any sort of tornado potential.
I think this is heading down to the ground.
However, the chance for a tornado.
This looks like this is going to be rain wrapped.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So there could be 2 different updrafts here.
Because it's going to.
Let's go back over to.
It's like Riley thinks it's 2 different updrafts, but I'm pretty sure from the 3D view that we saw, it's just it's the one rotation, basically doing the stair stepper on the way down.
The area of interest. Yeah, no tornado actively,
like
but we think
National Weather just marked it right here. I mean, you can clearly see it in the 3D view.
Hey, Major and as well as Beth for becoming members. Welcome to the Lost.
Right here is where the rotation is, but it's coming down.
Also, thank you, Karen, for becoming a member.
Because it lost connection, Starlink stuff. No, it says on Maximum you can't break connection. I know it says that, but that's what happens.
I have a feeling this one's probably going to try to drop something soon.
Look at this. This is crazy. This is Vince Walty, also on Radar Omega with Project Weather Eye as well. That is the structure here from.
If I click on your channel activity, I can see what you typed before. I don't know why it's constantly retracting your messages though.
Okay, this thing's like about to plow me over here. Oh, shit, I gotta go. I'm gonna drop it out. I just passed this. Are you shitting me?
That's a crazy looking structure though. Bro is not ready to get the hail core.
Try and Google it again.
We gotta get turned the fuck around.
Vortex has it only at 20 miles an hour.
That's still a pretty crazy structure shot.
Didn't realize that was our south option. I didn't even see a sign for it.
Right here, read this. There's somebody on Reddit dealing with the same thing. Maybe it's something with Nightbot. Do you use Nightbot, St. Louis?
5 minutes now. So about 5 more minutes left on this tornado warning. If I had to guess, they'll probably issue another one on this. If not, they'll at least issue a severe warning for hail and wind. We definitely have some hail falling right now in Stratford and near Gar Corner, coming up towards Pickett, and that's also going into Vanoss, and then eventually going towards Ada and Latta and Lawrence. So be ready again for upwards of golf ball sized hail over the next few minutes as the storm continues to track to the southeast.
This guy's having the same problem. This was 9 years ago, though.
It continues to track southeast. Back over in Texas, we still have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Back over in Denton County, we still have damaging winds and hail. Continuing around Denton, it's mostly wind, but a little bit of quarter-sized hail is possible. Frequent lightning.
It's not me that's doing it.
Stay away from windows if you are in this area.
I just got to make sure I read your messages right away because they disappear.
Northeast. And then back over in Decatur, Paradise, Bridgeport, we're now clearing out from our severe storm that is now tracking up towards Cook County. Quarter-sized hail.
It's still there.
$half-sized hail will be moving to Munster over the next few minutes. We should get a new severe warning here in just a minute or two for Munster, Gainesville, and Thackerville. And then also Marietta back up in Oklahoma. And then also another storm near Bowie that could also produce a little bit of hail and wind as that moves.
This one looks like that storm just completely fell apart down there. That was tornado warning.
South of Waxahachie with wind and hail currently pushing towards
I haven't even looked at. Let's go look at the storms in Texas too. I haven't even checked those out yet.
Super crazy out of the storm. It's just a lot of lightning, a little bit of wind, a little bit of hail. And then near San Saba, Texas, we also have some hail and wind currently moving into that
a new tornado
town here over the next few minutes. So be ready for that. We also have a new tornado warning, which is an extension to our active tornado warning. This will be for those in Pontotoc and Garvin counties in Oklahoma. It'll pop up here in a second. It's going to be an extension to our active tornado warning. And so Ada is included in this tornado warning. So
oh wow, we got some rotation down here for sure.
From windows, lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. If you're in Ada, just south of Bing, north of Fitzhugh, and just to the north of Ruff. We're now included
all these storms are rotating down here. We got rotating everywhere.
It still has a crazy structure shot here near Ada.
Mega storm.
Storm definitely looks crazy.
You're now included.
Yeah, if you're in Ada, Oklahoma, you need to be in your safe place. Again, this storm's definitely producing hail. Could produce another tornado as it moves east. Looks like Nathan has a little bit of a shot here beyond the tree line of at least still a lowering. I'm not seeing a whole lot on radar still when it comes to rotation. It's just been low clouds for the most part here over the last several minutes. Some mid-level rotation, really the main thing we've been seeing.
Inflow is really starting to crank in on this one now. Some really high velocities in the inflow.
Trees out here near Ada. Thank you, Rogue, for the super chat. There has not been anything confirming an EF5 tornado from yesterday. Alright, he's losing signal. Back to live radar. Actually,
see the reports for St. Louis yesterday.
It's taking the turn here, and we should have a better view of the storm again. Oh, nope, more trees.
So there's 5 total fatalities in St. Louis.
We will probably have it either tonight or tomorrow, at least.
There's 14 in
we're not going to have a rating, I think, for at least a
Kentucky.
It's going to take some time. I mean, that was a long tornado, and it covered a pretty large area.
There's another 7 and a different storm in Missouri, or is that St. Louis?
Wind and hail started in Denton.
Fox Weather's saying 7 fatalities.
Stay calm.
Yeah, I think that's right, because this one's from 14 hours ago that says 5, and it says 7 fatalities in Missouri after tornado warning storm causes extensive damage. And this is for 5 hours ago.
Crazy looking structure here.
At least 7 people were killed and dozens others were injured Friday after the storm caused significant damage in Missouri, significantly impacting the St. Louis metro area.
Storms have already come through. We had a big hailstorm on the west side of Oklahoma City.
This one, see this one on NBC News.
Huge shout out to Mike with the very generous $100 Venmo donation. W's in the chat for Mike saying thanks for your great reporting. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Mike, for the very generous Venmo donation. W's in the chat for Mike.
News and devastation across the central U.S. There are 21 confirmed deaths from tornadoes. St. Louis was hit with multiple tornadoes, destroying buildings and leaving over 80,000 customers without power. And today, 20 million people face more severe weather.
We were looking at the power outages.
Tornadoes, even hail as big as 3 inches. NBC's Shaquille Brewster has the very latest for us from St. Louis. So let's talk about the recovery efforts. How does it look there, and what are residents telling you about what they've experienced, Shaq?
Looks even crazier the closer.
Yeah, let's start with those recovery efforts because.
Hold on a second.
The damaging wind threat in Grayson, Cook, and Denton counties in Texas is observed. By the way, it's up to 65.
These inflow velocities. My goodness, what's happening here? I think this thing is going to try to drop something soon. This thing's really pumping up. All right, let's watch the rest of that video. We'll take a look at it here in another couple scans. And then we also got Max here. He's somebody's sitting there watching it too.
Garvin counties. The live shot of the storm.
As we just heard from city leaders, and they said that search and rescue teams that worked throughout the night, they're back at it today, going door to door essentially to make sure that everyone's okay and to check the structural integrity of those buildings. We heard from the mayor that more than 5,000 buildings have been impacted by the outbreak of tornadoes. I think you see one of them here right now, where that large tree just completely crashed onto a set of homes. If you go a little further down the road there, you see the power of the storm just completely knocking out the side of the wall. You know, I talked to one of the neighbors on this street here who talked to me about the experience of witnessing everything that was taking place. Listen to a little bit of my conversation with Mr. Dennis.
I've never been so scared before in my life. And I'm
Were you here during the tornado?
I was watching it. I got
oh,
stuck
sweet,
in the
you
window,
figured it
and I
out.
feel like this, to have a jaw-breaking thing.
Hopefully you
something
can fix
like
it.
As enormous as this thing came through and snapped these trees that could be more than 50 to 100 years old, like twigs. Roofs were flying around in the air. I almost want to put it like I saw the Wizard of Oz. You know,
Wizard of Oz.
Out here, man. And I wish that upon nobody.
He told me that not much in life scares him, but he was definitely terrified as he was.
If anybody's just stepping in right here, we have a live radar going in the background. We are watching a storm in Oklahoma that is tornado warned right here. It has some pretty nasty velocities. We're also checking up on some of the news from yesterday because we had a tornado outbreak with a lot of PDS tornado warnings all at one time. And then I also have max velocity going up here. He has someone actually watching the storm we're looking at on the radar.
Experiencing what he saw. Unfortunately, in the state of Missouri, you had 7 people lose their lives. And then we heard this morning from the governor of Kentucky saying that 14 people were killed in that overnight outbreak of likely tornadoes. He said, unfortunately, that's a number that is expected to only rise. That is all happening as we're expecting more storms, more severe weather. Maybe not in this area, but in states like Arkansas, Texas.
How you doing, buddy?
It's been already a busy season of severe weather, and it looks like it's only going to continue.
Towards the Red River Valley and then into southern Oklahoma over the next hour.
Man, that tornado that happened in Kentucky last night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, oh my, it was so bad. There was over, it's like 18 fatalities so far from that tornado. There was houses completely taken off the slab.
A little bit of
It
rotation.
was really bad.
Just nothing near the surface at this point. More of a wind and hail threat for Ada, but we are still monitoring the potential for a tornado as this continues to track in the direction of Ada, Stonewall, Fitzhugh, and Gertie. Also trying to go towards Ashland and Colgate in the long.
I mean, as of 3 hours ago, there's 21 total fatalities from tornadoes yesterday.
To Nathan.
I mean, it might go up. I mean, we watched some of the drone footage of that town in Kentucky, Lebanon, I believe it was. Oh my goodness, man! There's no way they've been able to go through and make sure everybody's okay because there's just so many houses. I mean, it just looks bad. And I don't even know if they got Amber Alerts for that storm because they didn't PDS warn it till after it went through the town.
Yeah, Allen, Texas is all right.
So that's what's really kind of sad is that storm only had just a normal tornado warning, and if they got the Amber Alerts out earlier in that storm, you probably could have saved a lot more lives. According to Ryan Hall, that town or National Weather in Kentucky there is understaffed or something. That I don't see why they just didn't PDS warn that earlier. Yeah, this thing is ready to. It's getting crazy. Look at that. Look at these velocities here.
It looks kind of outflowy.
It's making a new hook right here. Looks like that. Oh man, press the wrong buttons. Looks like this thing's trying to do something for sure. Got the end rot. Oh my.
This is Connor. Hey, Jonas, the super chat.
Dude, I want to get a 3D view of this. I really need to wait for a couple more scans. So I want to see what it looks like right now.
I think we had another updraft go out in front of this, as Riley alluded to, and I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem with this storm right now. The other problem is we can't really see the storm with all the trees in the way.
There's like a weird chicken on like.
Thought we would get a better view here. That's why I'm on Connor. There's a little bit better view now.
Anything down in there? Can't tell.
To me, it still looks pretty out.
Like it's got a lot of rotation here too, further up in the storm.
Would usually mean that it's not imminent.
I don't know. It looks like this. Look how we see it really dropping down right here. Got this little spot right here. We'll be able to see more here in a couple minutes. We can see the new scans.
Thanks for the heads up and keeping folks safe. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sharon, for the super chat. Storms are starting to fire in western Kentucky.
Highest velocities are still just pretty much way up in the upper levels, though.
You say Kentucky or Kansas? Nothing in Kansas. Nothing in Kentucky. What did I just read in chat? Oh, that was West Kansas. I don't see
crazy because yeah, this storm has like one big rotation back here, so it's got the other one over here.
Firing up. There's a chance that we get a bit more of a cluster of storms going here in the next hour or so in western Oklahoma. That could provide a threat for damaging winds and a little bit of hail. Not much of a tornado risk out of that activity. The tornado watch across Oklahoma does continue here for the next 3.5 hours across Oklahoma City, Norman, Elk City, Altus, back towards the Red River Valley. That's until 10 o'clock tonight, and then severe thunderstorm watch is in place across most of North Texas and also back into areas just west of San Antonio and Austin. And if we are live all the way until 8:30 or so, we might see bats take off on radar back over near Austin. So I'll have to wait and see on that. We might still be live depending on if the storm continues to be a
St. Louis, weren't you the person that sent me the video of you running outside and checking the rain like a couple weeks ago? I thought that was you that was in St. Louis.
Well, what do you smack? I missed that.
That's like one of your friends or family members that lives in a different part of St. Louis? Really wish you would add me on Discord so I can get a hold of you. We have that one guy that always comes in here and impersonates us, and I don't want to. I want to make sure I don't accidentally hide one of your friends. But you got upgraded admin control, so if I accidentally mute somebody, you can fix it, right?
This one looks like he's going northbound right now on Highway 1.
I don't even know what his name is, but he was Hurricane Energy. You should know who he is. He always comes in here and spams, and he's always trying to fight with you.
Hey, Tina, for the super chat. Still pretty crazy looking.
You got GR2 now, Edom?
Look at the dust. Little dust NATO thing spot. That was cool.
Look at that, man. This thing's really cranking right there. I don't know what exactly that is. It's got a lot of velocities there. It might be the inflow still.
It's happened in the last like 2 months. I'm not gonna lie. It's bound to happen. It is bound to happen for Connor.
Got a lot of. Nah, I know exactly what it is. Look at all the interference we got here.
I think last year. I think it has to.
We're just not seeing it right. There's so much radar interference right now. Is there a storm on top of? No. Why does this radar have so much interference right now?
Hey Max, so we have more updates out of St. Louis where we did have a number of fatalities last night. It sounds like we're up to 5,000 homes that have been confirmed damage, and they announced
5,000 homes confirmed damaged. Oh my!
In order to hopefully keep people off the streets because of how many property loss there was.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. That is not what we want to hear. Again, St. Louis was under the gun of a big tornado yesterday. I was on the ground literally in St. Louis for like 5 minutes, and it was just in St. Louis. I mean, it was nowhere else. And again, I'm pretty sure the National Weather Service has already said there was at least EF3 plus damage from that tornado and at least 5 fatalities from that specific tornado. So,
yeah, we had some really odd-looking storms last night.
That was not the only
where you could actually you could see the tornado on the base reflectivity like in a little area that looked like a hailstorm right on the hook. And
so today's not an outbreak. Today was more of a conditional.
Some of the velocities weren't measured very well, but you could clearly see where the tornado was, like on the base reflectivity. It was unreal.
The outlook that we have, though,
we had multiple.
today, an enhanced risk of severe weather.
I think we had like 3 or 4 PDS warnings going at a time for a while, plus that one tornado emergency.
Sliver of northwestern Louisiana. Slight risk is also in place.
And these storms are going crazy, even in Indiana. And then they finally started to fall apart as they were like halfway through Indiana and heading into Ohio. I actually got hit by those storms that caused those tornadoes, but they were just dropping tons of hail when we got here.
Which has led to less storms in Dallas-Fort Worth today than we expected. But we are continuing to expect at least some more damaging winds and hail over the next few
Actually,
hours.
let me pull up the
potential for a severe weather outbreak, maybe even a
tornado reports from National Weather yesterday.
Tornado outbreak any day over the next 3 or 4 days. It will be tomorrow and Monday. They look very favorable, maybe even Tuesday. For tomorrow, we're going to have a dry line very sharply back over here in Kansas and as well as back through Oklahoma and Texas. Any storms that initiate on that dry line tomorrow afternoon could easily produce significant tornadoes. We have a lot of wind shear in place for tomorrow. Tomorrow is still more conditional. Monday's also still a bit conditional, but there's already a large enhanced risk of severe weather in place. And I personally do think with our dry line setup that we are going to see more significant severe weather here with the dry line setup back over in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, with the potential for
we had 30 tornado reports. The little red,
we got more severe weather
ahead on
Tuesday. We got enhanced risk already
tornadoes.
Back over
788 wind reports.
Towards Memphis, and a slight
370 hail reports.
Springfield, St. Louis, back towards Little Rock.
Yeah, that was basically all of our tornadoes we had yesterday. All those red dots.
More than anything, and all hazards of severe weather are on the table as we go into Tuesday as well. So over the next 4 days or so, we are expecting a lot of severe weather. And again, we're going to be live literally every single day. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Latest update for our tornado warning cell here near Ada, Oklahoma. We've not really seen any rotation on radar here in the last little while, but we are continuing to monitor the threat of large hail and damaging winds. They have put a severe thunderstorm warning in place.
See a closer look here.
Highway 1 for Ada.
We had a bunch of tornadoes down here south of Cape Girardeau.
This storm is currently tracking to the southeast. So if you are,
they don't even have the tornado for St. Louis.
Away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. Hey, Victoria, for becoming a maximum velocity member.
Like, I haven't looked at Bloomington at all. We need to pull up a video on Bloomington. Look at all the reports for Bloomington.
Get at least some $quarter to $half sized hail, but I mean the main hail core is literally going to be going into your town over the next few minutes. This is Vince looking at our tornado.
Somerset.
Doesn't look
London.
like
I keep calling it Lebanon. It's London.
That is a structure shock.
Okay, so London got the PDS warning, I believe. Somerset is the town that, so the tornado was basically, it came through here. Let me move this over a little bit so you guys can see the whole thing. The tornado came through here as a regular warning when it was on the ground. And it kept coming all the way to London. And they finally put a PDS warning on it when it was like right around here. But it went completely through Somerset before they even had a PDS warning on it. So at least everybody in London got Amber Alerts.
Also, new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. This is going to be for those in southwest Oklahoma, or southwest Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma, northeast Texas, northwest Louisiana. Wind damage and large hail threat is expected to develop.
How do you set it up?
Watch is likely here shortly. So that'll be issued here within the next hour or
Should be on your left right here.
Probable peak intensity still indicating that we could see the potential for
you just got to click connect, but you got to like click on the configure polling thing first.
Is going to be possible.
And then go click right here to go online. See, like I disconnect. Then I click here to turn it on. And then you'll be able to click the individual radar sites once you're on.
It might actually drive up towards the hail core here over the next few minutes. Thank you, Interstate Chief, for the super chat. Or Chef, excuse me, for the super chat. Still trying to understand the terminology. What is the dry line? The dry line is basically the divide between very dry and very moist air. That's basically what it is. It's one of those initiators that you can have during the springtime especially. But, I mean, it can be all year round, but definitely in the springtime. I'll show you guys an example here tomorrow.
Man, this thing is just cranking. Let's get another 3D view of this.
The people that think I say the thick of it as a reference to KSI is actually crazy. This is like the 5th or 6th time I've said you are in the thick of it, or he's in the thick of it.
There's one monstrous supercell right there.
Whatsoever. This is a dry line, essentially. So if we look at the dew points here,
the higher velocities are definitely reaching down much more now.
These are your dew points. We got dew points in the
They're
low
working their way
70s.
down.
Back up in northern Oklahoma tomorrow. And then look at this. We got 40s, 30s, and 20s just to the west of that line. So this is what we call a dry line, which is also where supercells initiate. So we could see several of those tomorrow here in Oklahoma.
Really not sure what this thing is trying to do yet.
Yeah, that's generally what we're looking at. Tornado warning does continue for possibly upwards of another 28 minutes. Back over in North Texas, most of the severe weather is clearing out of Dallas-Fort Worth. We still have a little bit of severe weather back up near Denton, going up towards Gunter and Sherman, mainly 65-mile-per-hour damaging winds and quarter-sized hail approaching Whitesboro, Route 82 near Gainesville. We also have a surge of wind coming up towards Marietta, I-35, Ardmore, and Dixon. You're in the path of ping-pong ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour
this looks like it's really starting to juice up. And you can see the inflows is coming up through there.
Severe storm west of Colleen that is still going. No tornado risk with this as of right now.
Got like our big, large rotation.
Winds to continue to track towards Gatesville and Hamilton. And then no longer any severe warnings for the cluster.
I mean, it still looks like
Tyler, Texas. Definitely wouldn't rule out
it would want to push the tornado down back here, but we don't have any proper readings back there because of all this interference.
Still the tornado warning here. Big hail core moving right into Ada.
This thing is juicing like crazy right now.
Stay away from windows and on the
very strong rotation in this thing.
Stormer Media again is driving through potentially going to be coming up on the hail core here in a second on the south side of Ada. Hey Susan, for the super chat,
we have very high velocities right here.
There'll be anything really there tonight. If you get anything, it'll be isolated damaging winds, and that'll be late tonight.
Picking up right here, light blue from like 90 miles an hour by orange is 70, so about 160 mile-per-hour rotation right there. But you got a lot of interference there too. So
if they go through this one, I'm not sure if they are. I mean, they're going up towards Ada, so they might.
It might be that we're seeing this rotation. It should be back here, but this interference is kind of throwing it all off to the side.
Heard anything smack their car yet? Hey, nobody's under the overpass there.
Like if anybody's using anything other than GR2 Analyst right now. I missed that last message, St. Louis. You're going to have to retype it. Yeah, if anybody's looking at like Radar Omega or like WeatherWise or any of those other apps, they just basically just say this purple stuff isn't here. So if you're using any other apps, like you're not going to know that this data is corrupted, and it just leaves it blank. So, but what we do have going on right here is there's a lot of radar interference going on. Like these bands are usually pretty normal out here in the outer edges, but like all this, we got all this purple out here. Something's happening with this radar. I don't know if it's getting blasted by wind or it's getting something shaking the radar or messing it up or something's going on with it. It's not reading right.
And yesterday was the deadliest tornado outbreak that we've ever covered. Over 30 fatalities have been confirmed from yesterday, in case you've not already heard.
Oh, Max just said there's over 30 fatalities.
At least 24 in Kentucky. I think 7 were in Missouri, and we had 2 in Virginia. And
2 fatalities in Virginia?
It was undoubtedly one of the worst outbreaks we've ever covered. Probably the worst when it came to just purely fatalities. We had over 1,000 storm reports yesterday as well. That is one.
Where's our storm chasers? Are they not on this?
We were live pretty much for the entire event.
I want to see what's happening on this storm.
The entire time, from start to finish, when tornadoes started to get going, and then also when everything was starting to wind down. And unfortunately, I think we got more outbreaks coming up. I think tomorrow.
Let's look at tomorrow. We haven't even looked at tomorrow yet.
Those could easily be at least severe weather outbreaks, if not more tornado outbreaks.
All right, so anybody that's just hopping in here, this is for today. This is our tornado threat for today. We have a 5% chance here in the green and a 5% in the red. Right now, we're looking at some storms in this area.
60-mile-per-hour winds will be the main.
There's also a 2% chance up here in New York tonight. So
very low. It's not zero, but it's definitely.
We haven't seen. Let's go look up in New York too, really quick. Let's look at our national radar.
Just getting to the hail core yet. All right, they're actually going southeast now, so they're going away from the hail core.
We're due south of Ada right now. We heard southeast. We crossed that north-south highway
Where is the radar?
Out a tornado with this storm. I think it's going to take a little bit more for this thing to get going.
I accidentally closed my national weather radar.
Speaking, I mean, we still have a hail core again right over Ada. Still a decent amount of lightning here.
We'll have to reopen it real quick.
Imminent, but if we were to get a new tornado, it could try to recycle as it moves towards Stonewall. But I just
I'll use radar scope. Oh, the radar scope shows the interference. Okay. I didn't know radar scope does. I know that Radar Omega doesn't.
Ardmore looking tonight. Ardmore will be mainly a wind threat. 60-mile-per-hour winds coming up towards you. Tornado threat is.
I just feel like it's super important to see the interference, so when you're getting proper data or not.
Main threat will be damaging winds around 60. Also, they have just canceled the tornado warning for Ada, so that is no longer ongoing. But we are still talking about 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds and ping pong ball sized hail moving through the town of Ada over the next few minutes. Still a chance that this tries to produce a tornado as it heads towards Colgate and Atoka.
Looks like pretty much just rain showers up here in New York still.
Weather aware as this storm moves down to the southeast.
Nothing crazy looking up there yet.
Definitely not ruling out a tornado.
I don't even know if they can even have tornadoes when there's some storms going through. It's probably using up all the nader juice they have.
It looks pretty contaminated right now.
Pretty sure this is gonna pretty much kill all the chances of having a tornado up there tonight, which is a good thing. We got two supercells out here near Jackson, Mississippi.
How's Dallas, Texas? If you're in Dallas, I think you're chilling. I think you're chilling in Dallas.
Looks like all these storms down here in Texas kind of become like a big straight line windstorm. This is basically the storm we're looking at right here. This tornado warning.
This is our latest.
All right, let's look at tomorrow.
Run here for tonight. So by 8 to 9 o'clock, storms are going to continue to move east through areas like Tyler,
watch this real quick.
Southeast Oklahoma, even near Fort Smith. That's probably where the supercell is going to end up going towards, is likely in the direction of Fort Smith. If not, maybe a bit further down to the south. By around 10 to 11 o'clock, these storms will continue to move to the east. Just a large cluster moving across Arkansas, Louisiana, and East Texas, mainly with a wind threat, a little bit of hail still possible, and a low tornado risk. The HRRR also has another cluster of storms forming right around midnight tonight near Oklahoma City. This could be a concern when it comes to hail and wind. I think the tornado risk is very low out of that activity, and by the overnight hours, that is fizzling out into more just a weak line of storms with a little bit of wind and hail left over. And then we'll have plenty of storms also overnight tonight across Missouri and Arkansas, but none of these look that significant. I mean, it'll be mostly just isolated damaging winds and a low hail risk. And then tomorrow, again, is really up in the air right now. We could have a very significant day, though, of severe weather tomorrow, especially across Oklahoma and as well as Kansas and possibly even parts of Texas once again. Storm is now just getting out in front of this storm. We're losing signal a little bit. Vince actually has some high winds. I don't know if Vince's signal is going to stay in here, but you can kind of see the trees swaying quite a bit here. This is on the leading edge of the storm. Winds are definitely picking up where Vince is at.
All right, now let's finally look at tomorrow.
Since he has low connection.
Day 2 tornado. Oh wow, yeah. So we got a 10% hatch tomorrow in Oklahoma and Kansas. There was a guy in here. Adam was talking about Kansas. So Kansas is going to see some action tomorrow for sure.
4 Locos in Denver. I'm in my shelter. Am I cooked?
Tomorrow's going to be
Denver. I'm not going to lie. Thank you.
Going to be pretty action packed, I think. Max was just saying it looks like tomorrow's going to be a little crazy. Let's look at day 3. Oh man, that's a big area for day 3. Let me look at tomorrow's categorical. Okay. Day 3 might be even bigger than tomorrow.
Stormrunner's now punching up towards that area of maybe a
day 4. Let's see if we have anything on day 4. Ooh, that's a bad area.
As a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Don't forget to click the
bell
icon.
Goodness. They dropped the tornado warning on this.
Forecasts. We will have a video, by the way, tomorrow morning before the big severe weather event tomorrow, and I think we'll have a video pretty much every single day, to be honest.
I mean, it's only EF1 strength, you know. It's got to be at least a EF4 for it to be a tornado warning in Oklahoma.
One more thing, thank you. I broadcast this to a few truckers, and I know, as being on the road myself, your information is very useful. And also tell them to never get under the overpasses. I got your back. Very unsafe. I do agree.
Get another 3D view of this thing. See if we got an update on that.
Looking through the next few days. I think it will be mostly wind and hail for the next couple of days, and then by Tuesday, things are clearing out. Actually got Tornado Pagey coming up on this storm as well right now. They're coming in, I think. They're coming in from the southeast. A different spot here.
Looks like there's less radar interference in this area now, too.
Once they get out in front of these trees, I think we'll go back to them. This is Connor, who's apparently getting a car wash right now.
Look at this backside of this storm.
We got 22,000 people watching Connor get a car wash. Thank you, Jake, for the super chat. Do you think Wichita Falls, Texas will be good? Yeah, I think you guys are good now. At least for tonight. This is a better view here from the southeast side of our supercell here that's still producing now 2-inch sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds. They've actually added a tornado possible label to the supercell as well.
It has lots of rotation.
This is the outflow winds. This is basically the winds out in front of our.
It's kind of like that whole backside down through here that's rotating.
W for the super chat.
And you got this here, like right on the hook.
Since I was 3 years old. Started all by watching the Weather Channel.
It almost looks like it's like 2 rotating supercells inside of one. It's a really big storm. Huge.
Yeah, again, what we're looking on radar right now, this is like the inflow. This is our outflow boundary. It's still pretty outflowy. Got a large outflow out in front of our supercell. If this supercell can somehow catch up to the outflow over the next hour or two, there's a chance that this thing could go tornadic again, but it really has to catch up to this outflow. Otherwise, just outflow dominant. It's mostly going to be an RFD surge or just gusty winds out in front of this. As it continues to move towards Central Homa, Tupelo, my voice, Colgate, eventually going towards Atoka. We also have a new severe warning back over near Sherman, Texas, Denison, and Whitesboro. That is for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds and quarter-sized hail.
Hey, take it easy, St. Louis.
Going towards Kingston and Durant.
See you later, buddy.
Oklahoma. And no longer any severe warnings south of Dallas-Fort Worth, aside from the one west of Killeen. Thank you, Jet Engine, for the super chat. What are the total tornadoes from yesterday? We won't really know
I don't
the
know.
exact number. If I had to
The
take a
storm's
guess, though,
looking
we're
pretty
probably
threatening to me still. I mean, it's got a big hook. It's got a lot of rotation. I know they dropped the tornado warning, but it still looks pretty threatening to me. I still think it's worthy to keep the stream going for this thing, because that storm looks pretty nasty.
Cars parked under the overpass yesterday made the news. How do I send you the link? You can send it to me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX.
And look at this rotation down here, Richland. That is some pretty strong rotation right there.
Back over to Tornado Pagey and the wind surge here near Stonewall.
Same thing in Texas. If it's not an EF4, it's not. It's just a windstorm. That's clear rotation right here. It's not tornado warned at all. It looked like it downtrended there in the last scan. But look at this last scan. Like, I mean, we got some very tight wind shear right here.
So, he's just chilling. You want me to yell out?
He's kind of out there in nowhere, I think. But it's about to go across a highway. Definitely looks like there's some houses out here. This thing's definitely rotating good out here.
This thing actually might be trying again. You know, it has a chance. I think it has another chance.
This is down in Texas, by the way.
Got a hook on it. The outflow is being caught up to. This actually might try again. And velocities are really contaminated right now, but it's definitely trying to organize again. I think it has a chance. It's starting to clear out a little bit. Becoming more discreet again. Had a couple updrafts for a while. Didn't look very organized. Looked very rough on radar. Has a chance.
Looks really broad still. You got a big glob of rotation there. It's not really, I don't know, it looks really tight in that last radar scan, but this is a couple scans back. We had some really strong gate-to-gate shear, though, for a while. At least for 30 seconds right there. Yeah. It looks really broad here. But yeah, that one scan before last, I think that really starts to look much tighter in the rotation, especially here.
Just east of the hook that's developed on radar.
Really tight rotation there. I can't see the 3D view of that scan yet, though. But our latest scan, it kind of looks like it started to get way more broad again. Are these severe warned? I'm sure they are. Nope, this isn't even... Wait. Wow, these aren't even severe warned down here. All their severes are up here on the border and up in Oklahoma.
Not seeing anything yet. Still looks kind of elevated. Hey, Zohan for the super chat. How do you do? The Michigan Storm's been into Storm Chaser since Reed Timmer and the Tornado Intercept Vehicle, or TIV for short. Seeing your channel has respawned my interest in weather again. I'm glad I can help. Spark your interest.
And this thing's rotating from 4,000 feet all the way up to 48,000 feet.
Signal. They're driving through some high winds right now in the hook. Fortunately, though, they have low signal. I'm going to go back to them in a second.
I think the biggest thing is we have all this here, too.
All right, Stormrunner's back. And now they're not. Never mind.
This was by itself. That sucker would be on the ground right now, but I think it has this whole backside that's really interfering with it.
Everybody has low connection right now. Stormrunner had high winds, and I think they still do. They're still just kind of low connection right now. Can you write where each feed is? We're gonna have that in the future. We're gonna have everybody have their like location on the actual like name of their thing in the near future. We haven't had time to set it up. Like we've been trying to work on it, but we just have literally had no time with all the outbreaks and stuff to set that stuff up. So all
like just too broad still.
Stuff on here.
So our whole rotation goes all the way up through here. Like we just have a big area.
If this can catch up to the outflow boundary, we could get another tornado going towards Kiowa, Atoka, and Colgate. Storm still tracking to the southeast.
Max Velocity keeps changing his mind on it. He's like, it's going to drop a tornado. Oh, it's not going to drop a tornado. Oh, it's giving up. Oh, it's coming back.
Very ominous skies here on the back side of the hook.
Here, we got some views finally.
Hey, Jace for the super chat.
There's our storm.
I think a lot of wind and hail and low, definitely a tornado potential, Jace, for the Okmulgee area. I mean, you have a threat of severe weather pretty much every day, between even today all the way through Monday.
Max is saying we're going to have severe weather all until next Monday.
For becoming a member, welcome to the Velocities. Heads up, if you're in Texas, they just upgraded the severe warning back over in northern Texas near Sherman and Denison to 70-mile-per-hour winds. That includes Whitesboro, Sherman, just west of Denison, south of Kingston. So that has been upgraded to 70-mile-per-hour winds. That is
70-mile-per-hour winds in that storm down there in Texas? My goodness. We were just looking at that. We have some rotations there. I know they don't take any of this stuff serious in Texas because a lot of it's in the middle of nowhere. And they're used to DVD-sized hailstones and monster supercells. There's no such thing as a small supercell in Texas.
Do you show the bats? I don't think the bats are happening yet. Like, it's still about an hour away.
There's so many rotations in this storm. This whole thing's just rotating. But it is also a big sloppy mess.
Have I ever been to a weather exhibit thing? Like a pretend to be a meteorologist thing? I mean, I haven't done a pretend to be a meteorologist thing, but I have gone to actual weather studios, so I guess that's an exhibit, but it's a more elaborate one and it's actually real. I've gone to plenty of weather studios. Actually, if you guys didn't see, I was actually at Fox 35 in Orlando about a week ago with Noah Berggren. They're actually redoing their studio right now.
I feel like we got a bit of a clear slot to the left here at DL Garrett. Yeah, I think so.
Storm might be trying to gear up for another tornado here soon. Let's see if we can get a clear view beyond these trees.
Like, gear up.
Storm has actually been speeding up a little bit. It's moving east. It's still in southeast about 25-30 miles per hour. Hey, Don, for becoming a member. Max was on the BBC radio over here. I was on a BBC show the other day.
Oh, they got both rotations marked now.
I'm gonna try and get it all the way out by, say, either 75 or Kiowa.
Yeah, there's two of them. Never been stopped by two.
You're cooked, buddy.
Wait, Stormrunner cooked. Stormrunner still doesn't have connection. They're in the middle of the hook echo right now. They just don't have connection. Hey, Derek, for the super chat. Monday could be a big day. I mean,
yeah, as long as this storm still looks like this, I'm just gonna stay live because this thing could act up at any moment.
And as well as Monday and Tuesday all look like they could be big.
I'd say if there's anybody concerned about weather, there really isn't really concerns for weather right now. We don't have any tornado warnings. Mainly just a couple storms here. We got this one big one here in Oklahoma and some storms down in Texas. Just winds and hail. Nothing too crazy at the moment.
Stormrunner's in the middle of the hook and they just don't have connection. And Vince is currently positioning. Vince is starting to get some high winds. This is Vince, he's on the east side of the hook. See the wind picking up a little bit from the outflow. Still a little outflowy right now.
You have a storm back here. Northeast Amarillo heading into Oklahoma.
I definitely can see there being a tornado warning.
Got a little tiny storm starting up down here heading towards Waco.
Bottom right don't look crazy, but
we'll take a look at that one.
There might be something just trying to form near JD and Lula. So a large hook echo on this thing. It's just a little bit outflowy still, but it has a chance. It's back to live radar. A large hook reaching
Best
out
radar
Mr.
to see that with, I think.
As long as it stays a bit more outflowy, the chance of a tornado will stay low, but if it can still latch onto this outflow, there's a better chance of it producing
This radar
a
not
tornado.
working? Oh, it's
And
working.
If it were to, it's going to be coming up on Central Homa, Colgate, Stringtown, Lehigh, Atoka, southwest of Kiowa, and eventually going towards Antlers.
It's not really doing much.
Back over near Sherman and Gainesville, we still have a significant storm here.
Take a look at the 3D
70
view
mile
of
per hour
it.
winds in addition to quarter-sized hail moving towards the Red River Valley.
Looks like it's in its infancy stage still. Not very big, but it's probably going to keep growing.
We also have a severe warning there for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. Nothing severe right now in East Texas. It's just a large cluster of storms with
I mean, it's definitely rotating down here.
And then no longer any severe weather in central
This
Texas.
might turn into a supercell, start rotating pretty good, possibly. Keep an eye on this one. I'll leave the radar on this storm for a little bit, see what happens to it. I think it's in our threat. I think it is. Let me look.
Zach for becoming a member. Stormrunner's back.
A1 tornado.
Positioning.
Yeah, it's definitely in the area.
Let's go back over to Stormrunner.
It's heading into the red, and it's like an isolated supercell. Well, will be.
South side of the hook.
Second storm forming and our hook, one or the other. I mean, it's just growing right now. Looks like it's rotating mostly in the rainstorming area down here by Lometa. Got something to look at least. Go back up to the big boy.
Hey, Taylor for the super chat.
Man, this thing looks so scary. I'm sorry, man. You look at this storm. If this was in any other state, this would be tornado warned, right? But not in Oklahoma or Texas, right? There's no way this storm could be in any other state and it wouldn't be tornado warned right now.
I would be surprised if we didn't get a moderate risk on Monday, to be honest. They didn't issue it in today's outlook. I think once confidence grows on storm mode and stuff, we'll get a moderate risk.
Yeah, the big giant supercell with two big rotations. It's pretty much in the middle of nowhere too at this point, which is a good thing if it does do anything. It just went through some towns, but like where it's going now, it's like Stewart is the next town that I'll get into.
Vince in the middle of this? Yeah, Vince is in the middle.
Blake Waterhouse, how are you doing? Yeah, there's nothing going on in Illinois tonight. Let me pull up our threat real quick. This is where our tornado threat is for today, right here down in Texas and Oklahoma. There's a small little one up in New York, but I'm not seeing nothing but rain showers up there right now. Let me pull up our national radar.
Being measured upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour, so we definitely have high winds right now going in the direction of Highway 69 and Atoka, just
there's just clear skies in Illinois. So, I mean, you might see some rain showers tonight. I mean, when this stuff gets up there. But you don't have any tornado threat at all in Illinois today.
Coming up on Sherman right now, big wind threat if you're in Sherman.
Now tomorrow, let's pull up tomorrow actually while you're here, Blake. I'm not sure if Illinois is in tomorrow's.
Pottsboro, Denison, and on the west side of Sherman. So stay away from windows.
It comes close. Illinois might get added in tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we have a 10% hatch risk tomorrow in Oklahoma and Kansas.
In southern Oklahoma.
This is for tomorrow.
I think the severe thunderstorm watch will probably be canceled here soon for most of the DFW Metroplex, mainly off to the west of Dallas. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max, if you want to pull up satellite on Radar Omega, actually, interestingly enough, this storm that we're talking about in Oklahoma right now, if you go outside in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, you can probably see the overshooting top of this storm. We have a lot of wind shear today, so it's just taking the top of the storm and it's thrown it all the way almost into Illinois at this point.
What?
Thank you, Riley, for the update. I'm trying to pull up satellite here just so we have
I want to see this.
1 second. So yeah, this is what it looks like on satellite here. And you can see the overshooting top literally making it all the way over there to Cape Girardeau. So if you're watching right now from Missouri, you actually might see part of this storm. Just kind of crazy. That gives you an idea how
there you go, Blake.
The winds are also aloft.
You can see this storm in Oklahoma all the way to Missouri or Illinois.
And so all of that is being pushed off to the east, and it's literally making its way right now to Cape Girardeau. Some of this is not part of the storm, but this right here is all part of the storm right here. It's reaching all the way out towards even almost making it to the Mississippi River Valley right now. So that's pretty crazy. And almost all the storms that have formed in North Texas, too, if you see these storms, are all right in this area here. And if we look over the last several, minutes here, you can see how the clouds have made it all the way towards Memphis. So if you're watching anywhere back out here to the east, you'll probably see at least some of those high clouds from our supercell. Doesn't mean you're really going to see much, but definitely wouldn't rule out a little bit. You might hear a clap of thunder. It definitely wouldn't rule it out if we get enough of a positive and negative charge. All right. Go back to Tornado Pagey here. They are starting to catch up to this now. Actually, back to Connor. Hey, Taylor, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities.
Gotta get up in this thing here. 9 miles, they go north.
We just have one big storm in Oklahoma right now. A little bit of stuff going on down in Texas.
Congrats on the degree, appreciate it. I'm officially meteorologist, Max Velocity. We're back down to 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. This might be the lowest amount of severe warnings we've been live for in a long time. I don't know the last time that we're only live for 3 warnings, I'm not gonna lie. Feels like it's been a while.
Look at that storm down in Texas that was ramping up. Doesn't really look like it's ramped up much. It looks just as small as it did last time I looked.
Like a lot of news stations have stuff like it too, where it's just like a big program with like 20 boxes and has all sorts of different camera views and stuff like that. So, basically what it is. And the storms off here in the middle of your screen, they are both just
looks like it's getting smaller.
Still a hook on this storm. Looks pretty much to the point where it's a low chance of a tornado, but definitely watching for hail and wind as it continues to move southeast here in southeastern Oklahoma. Is DFW done for the night? Yeah, I think DFW is pretty much done. North of DFW, you're not done yet, though. Hey, Taylor,
oh my gosh.
I already answered that. I answered that earlier, but I do think moderate risk will probably be issued. Joplin probably going to have at least some level of severe weather.
This was from Blodgett, Missouri, yesterday.
I kind of want to wait for some of the computer models to come in first to get a better sense of what we're going to be seeing.
Storm Teacher Scott Peak does it again with another incredible close-range tornado intercept.
If he gets past these trees here,
this time it is Blodgett, Missouri.
The trees have been
tornado crossed in front of him on I-55 north of Sikeston, Missouri. Oh my goodness. He is so close to that. Oh my goodness, it broke out its window? This guy's nuts.
We will not. Somebody asked in the chat, we're gonna be live for the Oklahoma City
Like,
Storms around 11. I highly doubt it. I mean, if there's something that is significant,
wow,
and you know, there's something to go live for, we could always do another live stream. But I don't think those storms tonight are gonna be that crazy. I think it'll be mostly wind and hail.
Unreal. Well, guys.
Durant is very bad. I wouldn't say Durant's really bad. Connor's gonna view the storm now. Pretty ominous skies. Thank you, Tim, for becoming a member.
I'm gonna hang out for a couple more minutes. We'll see what this thing does.
For like Durant, it's just a special weather statement, bottom right of your screen. Mainly gonna be gusty winds, a little bit of small hail. Back over in Sherman, though, we do have 70-mile-per-hour winds on the west side of town. So I would say if you're in Durant, definitely be ready for high winds.
Looks like that's probably the one. It's just the precipes.
Got in the way.
Falling out ahead.
Is there another audio playing? I keep clicking buttons and it does this.
Turned out to be a pretty mild day, I'd say. This storm looked really, I mean, this thing had a tornado on the ground when I first went live.
Storm is still producing 2-inch sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, tracking to the southeast.
That is the unit, though. I mean, it is a big storm.
Either going to go north on 75 or probably going to go northeast, a little bit east of 75. Are you going to stay with us for
This is kind of sus. Go back to radar.
Look at Max. Look, see how that radar mega
Action
just
on the backside of the supercell. See this right here.
just completely cuts it out.
Another little like thing developing on the backside of this. Let me look at the base velocities. Curious if this is actually rotating or not.
I don't. They really need to fix that
This
on radar.
actually has like a little bit of rotation on it. West of Citro. This is like on the backside of the supercell.
Now there's been 2 rotations going on in this storm for the last hour.
It's west of Gertie, east of Ada. It's really not moving, but
got that rotation there
to
too.
keep an eye on. Also, this storm is moving now southeast at about 40 miles per hour. Keep in mind, this thing was not moving that fast a few minutes ago. It was.
I mean, this storm's basically almost fully in. The rotation's almost fully in this band of
Thank you, Larry,
interference.
for becoming a member. Thank you also vibing for the super chat. It's
So we're not even going to be able to see the hook. Yeah, it's already halfway into it.
Back over to Vince. Wait and see what the surface base velocities look like on that northwestern like little hook. See if
ironic.
see if there's actually any legit chance of that producing something.
That are like the most experienced at driving in severe weather. So you'd think they would always be the most capable drivers, but no. And before Twitter tries to cancel.
Back over to Storm Intermedia.
How far does our threat extend out today?
Storm Intermedia is a little bit further east. Honestly, we are just vibing here. I mean, we're just kind of waiting to see if anything does produce. Or gets close to it. Yeah, I'm not really convinced on that. Like,
I mean, it's still in the 5% red
area.
area.
I think it's more of another updraft or something. It's very slow moving too. Hey Dan, for becoming a member, welcome to the Velocities. While we wait for something to happen here, Riley's gone ahead and made a incredible drawing. Looks absolutely terrible. Another supercell. This one's leveled up. It has colors this time. Do we have another merch drop coming? UJC for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Go OU. I do have an OU shirt, by the way, on. I'm not, this was not intentional, by the way, today, but I am wearing an OU shirt. Not intentional. It had nothing to do with today's severe weather event at all. It literally was just, it was just there. I just have it.
The Morganfield, Kentucky also had major tornado damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop Sierra off, and then I'm gonna continue chasing this nighttime threat. The day has just begun. Yeah, Freddie, if you're looking for a hotel that's not like 150 plus, 200 plus, your best bet is El Reno. Alright, copy that. Wait, is OKC like...
Now I want to turn our focus up to St. Louis. There were some storms earlier in the day in St. Louis.
St. Louis
Killed at least 7 people in Missouri, 5 of those in St. Louis alone. We've got more than 80,000 people that are still without power. Fox Weather's Katie Byrne is live on the ground where the sun is coming up now, just starting to get a view of how bad the damage is. I was watching this on Fox Weather at home yesterday, Katie, and it was very clear. You could see it on radar. There was a tornado that went through the north side of town. How bad is the damage?
It's pretty widespread, Ari. When you drive around here, you're going to see lots of scenes like what we're seeing right behind us here. The mayor saying that they're grieving those lives lost here in the city of St. Louis. And this church, Centennial Christian Church, is some of the worst damage that we've seen. You're going to see the bricks here that used to be the walls just tumbled into the front lawn. The roof is partially collapsed, and when you walk around, this scene is essentially repeated across this neighborhood. We've got a car over here with its windows totally blown out. We're seeing some neighbors across the area with brooms right now, just stepping outside as the sun has come up, starting to start that cleanup process. This all really happened right before dinner time. We know that crews essentially overnight were working their way through some of the damaged buildings, looking for people who were trapped or hurt.
We were watching this tornado yesterday, by the way. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Like, this storm wasn't even tornado warned. It was just a batch of thunderstorms, right? And this thing just came in. There's a bunch of storms right on top of St. Louis, and nothing was, just some severe thunderstorms. Like, nothing looked threatening. Then all of a sudden, we had a massive, well, I wouldn't say massive, but violent tornado drop right here in Forest Park. Like, it went all the way up through here, but from here to here, this thing was like, had like EF 3.5 strength on the radar, and then like for the rest of the distance over here, it was much weaker. But yeah, basically like Forest Park, this area got hit really hard. I mean, it wasn't even that big of an area. It was, you know, a smaller sized tornado, but I think this church is there in Forest Park. But you can actually look at the live stream yesterday where this thing just kind of, it surprised us. They did tornado warn it right before it dropped, but it was a surprise. And it was crazy to see a big, strong tornado actually drop on top of such a big city. It's pretty rare.
The mayor says at least 5,000 homes in the city of St. Louis have been damaged in some way. We had intense winds that you could see blowing debris around. We know that we've seen damage in homes. We've seen trees down. We've got power outages, and cell service is still an issue right now. In fact, fire officials are expecting calls to come in at a higher rate today because of the fact that cell service was so spotty last night. So as that communication continues to be restored, that's something that fire officials are looking out for. We'll keep you updated with the latest that we're seeing on the ground here right now. But a just absolutely devastating scene this morning here in St. Louis when you look around.
Hey, Katie, have you heard from the National Weather Service? I imagine they're probably going to be out doing surveys today, trying to figure out exactly where the tornado was, what's straight line wind damage, what's tornado damage. Have you heard anything along those lines?
Right. We're checking to see what their survey plans are. Of course, we know it was a very active night last night, so I'm sure they have several locations that they're going to be checking out. But St. Louis, as big of an area as it is, I have to imagine it's towards the top of the list where they're headed.
Yeah, I imagine so. All right, Katie, thank you so much for the report. We really appreciate it. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. Now I want to turn our focus.
Yeah, that was crazy. I know we had a lot of tornadoes in a lot of different areas yesterday. That one was quite the surprise. That St. Louis one. It shocked me. Shocked me too is just how strong it was when it dropped on the ground too. I was like, oh my God, there's so many people that live there. I was freaking out.
That CC drop again is not a tornado. That is just huge hail. It's coming up on Kiowa.
This storm's just like right in a big nasty area with a whole bunch of interference.
So we'll see if anybody drives into the hail core and samples the hail.
I don't know if that's right or not because of all the interference, but it's starting to show some pretty strong velocities in that area. This is max velocity here, watching Storm Rider Media. They're right here on this big storm here in Oklahoma.
Hey, Wolves for the super chat. Appreciate that.
As you see, I am missing
T-shirts are
lots of data from this storm in this area because of that interference.
I mean, I wear about 12 different T-shirts probably, maybe 14. I have a variety of T-shirts, I gotta say. I do have a variety. With that said, I do tend to...
Not sure exactly. We just can't really see what's going on here
like
with all the interference, but
the OU one is one of them. It's comfortable.
I mean, you can see some pieces dropping down here.
You have one tornado in Baltimore as well.
This isn't even tornado warned anymore, but this thing did. There was a tornado on the ground when I
damage photos and stuff, but
turned the stream on.
For some reason, nobody can.
It was on the ground briefly.
Nothing happened on there. Thank you, Mezzo Melissa, for becoming a VIP Velocity member.
It was way back here.
Where's Freddie when you need him? Freddie is actually chasing.
Dropped down on the ground way back in here.
But he is chasing. Freddie McKinney is literally right here, and he's coming up on the hail core. He might be driving towards the hail core right now. I do wonder if he's actually going to go live or something, but
you're just popping in. This is our tornado threat for the day.
So we can actually
right
see
now. We just have in the green here. It's 2% chance for tornadoes, and the red's a 5%. Basically, the storm we're watching right here is here in Oklahoma. There's a couple storms down in Texas, but they're not really looking too scary. I can hop down there again real quick. I was watching this storm, but it looks like it's pretty much falling apart here.
Late into the night last night.
Basically turned into a rain shower at this point, so I might as well move the radar back up here. Dallas.
Last night, for sure. Last night was definitely a. I mean, like late last night when we had a tornado, literally after
we got a flood watch in Texas now,
especially in an area that we had a large tornado on, and the warning didn't get upgraded for some time. So
actually, named this a severe thunderstorm. Now we do have a little bit of rotation right there, but it looks very broad at this time being.
People, so.
I mean, this whole storm is rotating here.
Some people in that area. Thank you, Randy, for becoming a member. Thank you also, Jared, for the super chat.
I didn't hear that these storms had 70-mile-per-hour winds at the front of them. And this thing's rotating too back in here. I have not gotten
a message from him, but this happens sometimes. Freddie's actually way back off to the west.
Well, these storms are actually moving up into Oklahoma now. And these are all rotating as well.
30 minutes till sus hour? I mean, sus hour has already begun.
30 minutes till sus hour.
I think we're already past sus hour, to be honest. Back over to Tornado Pagey.
Wondering if you can hear this in the background. This is max velocity, by the way. I do in the
hail
description. I
storm
have
north of
Max
Colgate.
Velocity linked. I also have Ryan Hall. They both do weather forecasts every day. So if you just kind of want to get an update on severe weather, you can go to either their channels. Subscribe. If you may know them already, but they not only they stream weather, they do basically a forecast every morning before the days of severe weather. And I also have a lot of storm chasers listed in the description too as well. If you're interested in watching any of these people actually chase these storms.
They actually might end up having some huge hail on this. Again, there's baseball-sized hail right now, and they're located right about here. So they're like in the track of this really destructive hail. The one problem is their Starlink dish went out yesterday, so the connection isn't as good. But
I want to actually take a look at these storms from the Oklahoma radar.
This is a huge hail core coming up towards Kiowa and 69, and
it's pretty far. I mean, we definitely got rotation in these.
This baseball-sized hail.
There's area of a rotation in these storms.
Currently tracking towards Highway 69.
This is pretty much the main storm we've been watching for the last hour or so. It's in a really bad area of interference. All this purple coming through here is like radar interference from it. It's either getting rained on or something shaking this radar from right here in Oklahoma City. And it's causing it a lot of issues with the data.
Goggles aren't going to save you with a 80-mile-an-hour baseball.
All right. Here goes nothing. I think they're literally just going to sit here and have the hail come right over top of them. So
I don't know what is going on right here. That looks like crazy velocities they're monitoring right here.
Like they position themselves to be destroyed by hail. They landed for the super chat.
I don't know if National Weather has like a Doppler and wheels in this storm right now. But if it's National Weather putting through this TDS, EF 3.9, the base at 6,500 feet and the top at 19,000 feet, I don't know if they're getting this data from Doppler and wheels or something, but that's showing crazy rotations logged right here.
The hail core will be hitting 131 in the next few minutes.
I mean, I can't see it.
Look at the
I don't see the
shaft,
velocities
Look how
here.
white it is. Huge hail shaft right there.
And all I'm seeing here is we got orange. That's like between 60, 70 mile an hours, and then the poop green or darker green. So we got like 110 mile per hour rotation right here. So that's all I can really see with all this radar interference.
Looks like there's a lot of stuff in front of it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got somebody out here pointing at the storm.
I just got that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Ooh, listen to that thunder. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of relaxing having an easier day today. For all the stuff we went through yesterday, that was a
Wayne. Time to get in the car. They are in the car. Just the windows down.
I know they had over 20 reported fatalities yesterday from the various tornadoes they hit.
Since we don't have a full-blown outbreak tonight, we can actually get like something decent probably. Maybe some IHOP.
We had a late night tornado about 12:30, 1 o'clock in Kentucky that had the most casualties, sadly. It was really bad.
Let's do an IHOP fund.
Let me pull that back up.
Looks like a nice little Volkswagen there on the left.
Oh my lord.
Pull up some of the drone footage from yesterday.
Max, are you currently in Oklahoma? No. I mean, we're looking at an Oklahoma storm, but like we're not. I don't live in Oklahoma.
This is in London, Kentucky.
It looks like they're going to be driving away from the hail for now.
Like this town got absolutely.
That's what it looks like again on radar
last
right
night.
now. Large
This is the town
hail
where
core
we
right now
have
near
like
Ashland, coming up
last
on
I
131.
heard 18 to 20
And again,
fatalities.
we had a
reported in this
3-body
town
scatter
from
spike a
last
moment ago,
night.
which is an indicator of very large hail. You can see how white it got and black. That is a very large hail core. Likely baseball plus sized hail there, around 31, now moving towards 69. Just south of Kiowa. So they're currently positioning. They might end up just going into this hail core.
Late at night.
We'll see. But they're right now, I think, on Highway
They did get the
131.
Amber Alert out on these phones before it came.
Yeah, they're just northeast of Colgate on Highway 131.
Look at that
so
tree.
They're basically in the path of this if they end up staying there.
My goodness, that car's flipped upside down. There's a lawnmower over there.
Hey, Don, for the super chat. Appreciate that. We're doing an IHOP fund on today's stream. I want to DoorDash it. That's the thing.
There's nothing but the slab left on that house. Oh my goodness. Well, that's the garage. Even the foundation's gone on the house.
Chat. I'm watching from Chicago. I'm at Culver's
That's
right
just
now.
like the driveway.
We have somebody
Oh
tuning
my
in from
goodness.
Culver's. That's something.
This was in Lebanon, Kentucky.
Hey, Roger, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. Back down to the south of this big supercell, we also got a lot more other storms coming. If you're back over near Toka or
My
Caddo or
goodness, guys.
Durant, 60-mile-per-hour damage.
Yesterday was probably one of the
$1
worst
hail
days we've
currently
seen
penetrating to the northeast.
in a
We'll be
long
producing the
time.
threat again for hail and wind over the next hour
This
or
happened,
two. The
yeah,
tornado
about
threat is
12:31
fairly
o'clock
low.
last night.
And then back over in Dallas,
in
Fort
Lebanon,
Worth. Again, we're
Kentucky.
mostly clearing out. I think the severe watch will probably be canceled here soon for most of North Texas. Bulk of our severe storms that are ongoing are no longer even in North Texas. We have a couple strong ones going towards Paris and then a few other severe ones that are heading on the direction of Longview, Texas. This will be mainly a wind threat, low tornado risk as that goes towards Shreveport, Vivian, Marshall, and also going towards Lone Star. And then also, if you're in Killeen and Waco, you're no longer in the severe watch. So that's a W. You're no longer in the watch.
Sorry about that. Pull it
Once
back
again,
up.
destructive baseball-sized hail is heading towards Kiowa, Oklahoma right now. Tornado Pagey is currently en route to potentially intercept this hail. Again, they're heading towards 69, Kiowa,
Just for
and
a
eventually
second, I'm gonna
tracking
check
towards
the velocities
Clayton,
on the storm
and very
again.
rural areas after this of southeastern Oklahoma in the
This
path
is the
of that
storm
in
live
the near
right
term.
now
South
in
of McAllister
Kentucky.
right
It's
now,
not
good amount of
currently
lightning,
tornado
big hail
warned,
core again
but
right now located
this
south of
thing
Ashland.
did have a tornado
So we'll
on
see
the
if they end
ground.
up intercepting that big hail. Thank you,
About an hour
Alia,
ago.
for becoming a member. Welcome to Velocities. Does W stand for waffles? Because you should order waffles.
two areas
Waffles
of
aren't even
rotation
I
right
feel like
here.
waffles are kind of overrated. I'm not going to lie. I feel like they're a little overrated.
Good. I'm gonna pull that drone footage back up.
Culver's is addicting. Yeah. I agree. It can be. Somebody said, wow, unsubbed. Wow. That's not very nice.
Let me grab the I'm gonna grab our map
Looks like their
here.
connection's back.
Where
They're just
is
out
our
in front of
map?
this hail
Okay.
core right now. They might actually just be intercepting it. I think they're driving up to it. I could be wrong. Their location tracker right now is right about a
Lebanon.
mile and a half southeast of the hail core. French toast.
What
French
Lebanon?
toast is
What the name of the
amazing.
city? I keep
French
calling
toast
it
is
Lebanon.
literally amazing. Low key, French toast is goated.
London.
That's
London.
my take on
Kentucky.
it. It is goated. Hey, Timothy for the super chat. Thank you, Rico, for becoming a maximum velocity
London,
member.
Kentucky.
We're about to hit 50 members in today's stream. W. Appreciate all the members on the channel. It's one of the best
Last
ways to
night
support
we
our
were
channel is by
watching
becoming a
this
member.
tornado as it went
If you want to
through
become a member of the channel, you can click the join button down below, or it is the top link in the
London,
description below.
Kentucky. It went through Somerset too, but I don't know if we have any.
Without your support, we wouldn't be able to
The
do
tornado
everything that we do
started
on this
like
channel,
right around
including having all
here.
the storm
It
chasers
had like
we
a
have with all
normal
the
warning, and
inside
we seen a
information, all
debris
that good
ball
stuff.
as it was going all the way through Somerset, and it went all the way through London. At
Thanks,
that point,
now
it was a
hungry. I'm not
PDS
gonna lie though,
tornado
like
warning. It
waffles
was
don't
about
sound bad right now, even
12:31
though they're
o'clock.
overrated. But French toast is way better than both pancakes and
But that town got hit
waffles.
so hard, my goodness. Unreal. I hope they have
People
everybody
actually believe
accounted
weather
for
live streamers
already.
control the weather. You didn't know we control the weather?
Not
We got
only
the
is it like
device
strong, that
to
tornado
fire up
was wide. It
storms
was
when we want.
big.
USMC for the super chat. Appreciate that. French
Oh,
toast
my.
is really good, but it's only at certain places. At most places,
But
I feel
also,
like don't have good French
I mean,
toast,
we,
but,
we
like,
had
there's a couple
so
local places
many
I've gone to in the
tornadoes
past that have
yesterday.
really
Let
good
me
French
pull
toast.
it up here. The national weather.
Hey, you live for the super chat. Is this a cooking show? I mean, we could make it a cooking show. It would be a bad cooking show. I'm not good at cooking. I'm gonna be honest. Hey, Mad Storm for the super chat. Pancakes or waffles? I'll go with pancakes. Hey, Shamrock for becoming a member. Crystal for the super chat.
Close the
Are
page
you still
down.
get Culver's? Here's your sign to get Culver's
Cold
tonight. I'm not getting
weather,
Culver's. If I'm getting anything, it's going to be more
tornadoes.
decent than Culver's.
Storm reports.
Did you read Connor's
I
tweet?
can't believe the damage that happened
Oh,
out
wanna
here.
read
Look
Connor's
at
tweet?
all these trees. My goodness, it was
Oh, man.
literally a
All right, yeah, this
blender of
tweet.
debris going through this area.
We
Unreal.
got some interesting we got some interesting tweets on Twitter right now. We got Paige coming in with
I can't believe this
over in
happened at
Goliad,
1 o'clock in
Oklahoma.
the morning last night.
This is the chaser stuff that's going on tonight. We got a lot of interesting stuff happening. I'll not show it, Connor.
We couldn't even see the velocities that well on it, but we could see the debris
A lot of
ball,
chaser
and we
stuff
could
in the last
see
couple days.
we could definitely see the rotation in the hook on the base reflectivity. But my goodness, it's down.
The severe thunderstorm warning here has been, we actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Cole and Atoka counties in Oklahoma. That is for tennis ball sized hail and 70 mile per hour winds. It is a considerable threat. That is just going to be an extension to the supercell that we've been looking at here.
This is the one that happened in
no
St.
longer
Louis.
destructive baseball sized hail, but still producing tennis ball sized hail.
We were watching this one live as well. This is like the first bad
French
tornado
vanilla
day.
ice cream. That actually sounds good. It's Sonic? Bro, Sonic, I had Sonic. I'm not even kidding. I had Sonic like a week ago. It was terrible. I think they're...
But when we were watching this tornado, it was just basically a
Their connection should be back here in a second. I think they are...
a normal thunderstorm coming over
gonna
town
intercept
right
this
here,
downpour. It's not
and then
super
all of a
big.
sudden it starts spinning up,
Jupiter
and we
for
had
the
a really
super
strong
chat.
tornado. Basically dropped right here around
Sonic
Forest
has good,
Park.
yeah. Sonic does
and
have
it
good
came
ice
all the
cream.
way
in my
through
opinion.
here.
The one big thing I think with Sonic
By
is like
Granite City.
I've gone it multiple times recently, or not multiple, but at least a couple
And
times recently. It's
This
it's
whole
really not
storm
good.
track, like this thing had like
I've not found like
EF
I got, like, a breakfast burrito, I
3.5
got tater tots. They
velocities
were
from
so
here to
terrible. The tater
here.
tots I got were like
And then
so
for the
low.
rest of it, way through,
New
it got much
scale
weaker.
discussion
But
from the
yeah,
Storm
from
Prediction
this,
Center
from
across
here to
central,
here,
southern, and western
this thing was
Oklahoma. Severe
extremely
weather threat will
strong.
likely
And
continue
you
over
can
the
see
next
like
few
it was
hours.
completely
Large hail,
destroying
wind
these
damage,
brick
and
buildings
isolated
and
tornado
stuff.
threat will be possible. They are still outlining that hail as large as the size of apples,
Unreal.
maybe even up towards softballs as possible.
Look at that house. That
Still a
house is
possibility for an
completely
isolated strong
brick
tornado
house,
and then damaging
completely
winds up to
demolished.
70 miles
Unreal.
per hour. Also, they did mention back down here in southeastern
This
Oklahoma.
this
that a
is our
storm
live
surge is
storm
likely,
right
and
here.
may
This is
result
in
in increased
Oklahoma.
severe weather threat with wing gusts. We got wing gusts.
Actually got some pretty strong
We
rotations
got
here
chicken
again.
wings, chicken wing gusts coming in above 75
Got
miles
a
per
lot
hour
of
back over in
interference too,
southeastern
though.
Oklahoma.
Let me see. I mean,
Severe
you can
weather
still
threat
see
will
the
again continue,
rotation
and
in
then
two
also
spots
increasing
here.
severe weather threat over the next hour or two.
So we
West
got a
Oklahoma
rotation in
City.
the
More
hook, and then
storms
up
are firing
here
up here
near
pretty soon.
Ashland, we got another rotation. This is in Oklahoma. This is
Didn't know we
southeast
could
of
get wing
Oklahoma
gusts.
City.
Well, they're now punching it looks like, to something, but their connection's still low.
Oh, sorry, I had max velocity up so loud there for a while.
Starting to come into this hail core, looks like. Thank you, Nicole, for the $20 super chat.
He's got a storm chaser here on the hail core in this storm. Looks like it's freezing up. Oh, got a bad connection. This is Tornado Paige. She's basically on this big storm right here. And when I first started up the stream, we had like 4 or 5 storm chasers literally on this tornado as it dropped down. But it was only down for about 2 minutes. Luckily, it didn't hit anything.
Chasers know when you have them on stream? Not usually. Just pull them whenever. My cat just woke up. He's meowing at me. What about Panda Express? Panda Express is like, it's alright, but like, it's not like something I'm really racing to go back for. I got it again recently. And
Things really rotate good in 2 spots.
just kind of like one of those things, like once in a while I'll get it.
I wish all that interference wasn't there, though. It's really hard to see what exactly is going on.
Super chat, killing me with all the food talk. Honestly, like I'm getting more and more hungry the more I talk about food. Thank you, Wake Up, for the super chat.
Yeah, this is a big boy supercell for sure. I mean, it's a big storm.
Thank you, Swaggy, also for becoming a member.
You can see where it's definitely coming down in 2 different areas.
Is there a Brahms near you? I don't think so. I don't think there's any Brahms in Florida. At least I've never seen it.
Might be trying to do something again. You haven't even seen a tornado warning out of this storm here in like the last 30 minutes or so.
I never had Culver's up until actually living in Florida.
And if that's right, I mean, if this is actually what this rotation is doing here, that looks a little concerning.
We have a couple storms that have fired up back over in southeastern Oklahoma, or southeastern Kansas, excuse me. But nothing really too crazy here, just a couple isolated.
How you doing, Rick?
Some hail and wind possible as those go up towards Humboldt and Iola. Thank you, Mike, for becoming a member. Hi.
Yeah, a lot of these storms from Texas are making their way up into Oklahoma now. Max Velocity was just saying some storms are firing up. Let's look at the national radar. Not sure where those storms are firing up. Also, too, if anybody's just joining in, this is our tornado threat for the day. We have a 2% chance in the green, a 5% in the red. We also got a 2% chance of tornadoes all the way up in New York tonight, but it's really not looking that bad up there right now. It's looking like just a bunch of rain showers. And then tomorrow's supposed to be a little more severe. You have a 10% hatch risk here in Kansas and Oklahoma tomorrow with, again, the 5 and the 2%.
One of the most overrated burger places going.
So we might see some tornadoes tomorrow.
Hey, Mackenzie for the super chat. Cute car. Bro said cute car in the chat. Now do a gritty. This is not a car.
This is like our only tornadic storm at the moment. I mean, we have these ones coming up from Texas. Max said there's more storms firing up. I think it's that's in Mexico.
I've ever had Wingstop. I've actually never had.
Let me refresh this, make sure this is up to date.
I've never had it. Hey, Christopher, for the very generous $50 super chat. I really appreciate that, Christopher. W's in the chat for Chris.
Maybe he's talking about these storms firing up here. But they're just rain showers. This one's new. This one just recently fired up, I believe. Yeah, look at that. Wasn't even there. Came out of nowhere. Well, I guess it just basically got stripped off of this one and it started another storm on the top of it.
Connecticut.
Okay.
I've now lost.
So actually look at New York while we're here.
I only got my hand on my mouse. That's it. New severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued.
I know they said a 2% chance for tornadoes up here, but all I'm seeing is rain showers. We really don't have any threat up there right now. Just a bunch of rain, it looks like.
Louisiana near Shreveport, Texarkana, El Dorado, Tyler, and Longview. The main concerns are going to be hail, wind. Let me get the exact details on the watch here. Nope, it's not out yet. All right. Once I get the details on that watch, I'll let you guys know. Probably going to be mainly a threat for hail up to probably 2 inches in diameter. 70 miles.
The storm has been rotating for the last 2 hours.
David for becoming a member and Kaz for the super chat. Next SPC outlook will be out here in about 10
Pretty good
minutes.
rotation up here too near Ashland.
Speed live through that. Be out here in just a few minutes. Yeah, we officially had an EF1 tornado near Dundalk, Maryland yesterday. So that is official.
Dundalk, Maryland. Oh, yeah. I remember the one near Dundalk. I saw that tornado.
Well, Tornado Pagey and Bryce.
We actually had a tornado in Maryland yesterday. That's crazy.
I think the storm is just too tall for a Starlink. This is 58,000 feet tall. This is a super tall thunderstorm. I didn't realize how tall it was. It's 58,000 feet.
This is down in Texas here.
This is 58,000 feet tall right now. Just south of Kiowa, Oklahoma. That's massive.
A little bit of rotation in this storm down here.
Down here, just south of Durant. It's up near.
Let's actually go to Shreveport. Let's look at this from Shreveport.
Thank you. It is almost as tall as me. They also Joey for the super chat. Well, I mean, I literally just talked about it. I mean, like they're basically
definitely got some strong wind speeds for sure. Oh, it looks like a little bit of rotation here, and here.
Probably in the next 10 minutes. this is currently
Nothing
the
too wild
tornado risk
looking.
outlook for today, which again, this will definitely be changed.
That's
within the next
basically
hour,
our
which should be out here in a
strongest
few minutes.
area of rotation right there.
It's a large 5% across North Texas, which I never agree with the North Texas 5%. I really didn't think we'd have anything in North Texas.
This is just like one big rotation right here.
Didn't even have it. I don't think we've had anything tornadic in Texas.
That thing's kind of cranking, to be honest.
I think the 5% was.
This is way northeast up in Texas. Yeah. No, this is mainly more. Yeah, it's still pretty northeast. Take a look at a 3D view of this storm, actually.
Back over in Manchester, Nashua, and Concord, New Hampshire. We got 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds, a tornado possible label.
It's a big storm.
I think it's going to be mostly wind, maybe a low tornado risk going towards
One big storm for sure.
New Hampshire. Generally speaking, though, nothing too crazy here. If we had a tornado, it would be on the weak side of things. Have you ever tried the wing gusts from Popeyes? I've had the Popeyes.
All the rotations are just basically in the upper levels there, though.
Might have to do it again. They came back.
It does have a severe thunderstorm tag, though.
I'm in the middle of the hail core, but still low connection. The storm is just too tall.
Still running into that storm. They're trying to find something up there in Oklahoma.
I could go for some real Italian food. Honestly, some pasta sounds really good right about now. It's my favorite wing place. I don't really have a favorite wing place. I like Buffalo Wild Wings, but I mean, that's just like a chain. It's more, I don't even think the wings are like amazing. I just think the cheese curds are so good there. Do IHOP for dinner? I think I am doing IHOP for dinner. That is the plan.
This thing is continuing to rotate.
Not yet.
I think this is pretty much just along the lines that this is Oklahoma. If it's not like EF4 or EF5, it's not a tornado. It's just a windstorm if it's a weak one. I mean, if this was in any other state, this would be tornado warning right now. But it's just how they do it in Oklahoma, it looks like. So, I mean, this thing's definitely got some rotation going all the way up in there. It's going all the way like 50,000 feet up in the air.
Live, it's kind of calm. Well, we started the stream today with a tornado, and then the storm almost produced another one. And I honestly thought we'd have a bit more severe weather than we've had today, but it's been kind of chill. I mean, just a little bit more of a chill stream, I guess, today. Tomorrow will probably not be chill. Monday will probably not be chill. Tuesday will probably not be chill. Like I don't see there being much chill weather here in the near future. It looks very active here over the next 4 days or so.
I'm using GR2 Analyst.
Tomorrow, and also today we had an enhancer risk, so
I should have a link to it in the description.
Texas, Oklahoma. I almost always go live for Texas, Oklahoma events because this is literally where our channel basically started. So, yeah, I mean, generally speaking, this is the risk outline for tonight. Mostly going to be wind and hail. This is for tomorrow, but wind and hail possible again for tonight. Waiting for the new SPC outlook for tonight. This is what's been. This is tomorrow. Again, strong tornadoes possible, especially in this region. Could see this grow. Again, potential tornado outbreak tomorrow, depending on storm mode and if storms do fire along our dry line, which is back out here to the west. If storms do fire near our dry line, we could have a significant tornado outbreak tomorrow, but again, confidence on that is low as of right now. And then
Bring Max Velocity.
This could be also another outbreak day where significant severe weather is possible across a large chunk of the central and southern plains, with damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes all in play. And then as we go into Tuesday, the risk of severe weather is right back to the Ohio Valley and even into the Dixie Alley, where another threat of a severe weather outbreak is possible, with damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes all being a possibility. We got a long stretch of severe weather ahead here. Long stretch. So make sure that you're ready. It's going to be a busy next couple of weeks. Or not couple of weeks, but 4 days.
Couple of weeks.
After Tuesday, I think things will get a little bit quieter.
Basically, give you guys an outlook real quick what we're looking at for the next couple days.
Really not much slowing down. I mean, the weather's going to continue to stay active, I think, for a while. It will be slightly quieter again at the end of the week, but...
So they only give us a tornado outlook for the next today and tomorrow. This here again is today's tornado threat. Basically down here, yeah, you got your 2% and your green, 5% in the red. Tomorrow, we're moved up into the 10% hatch risk here in Kansas and Oklahoma. And then also, too, I can show you the categorical. This is basically where we're expected to see thunderstorms tomorrow. And then this is for today. So, I mean, it's looking like we're supposed to see a lot of rain in most of these states around here. But day 3 categorical. I no longer can see the tornado outlook for day 3, but this is basically where we're expected to see some severe weather. So most likely, if you're going to have any tornado activity, it'll probably be inside here on day 3. And day 4. Just got a little something showing here. They don't really know too far out what's going on in day 4, so. But yeah, like you said, he was saying, expecting, the Max talking about, we'll probably go see something in the Ohio Valley on Tuesday.
I think for Grand Prairie, Texas, I think North Texas is clearing out for the most part. Yeah, if you're over in Longview, Texas, we'll probably get a severe warning here soon for wind, but other than that, it's mainly just wind. The bulk of the wind right now is going to be staying, it looks like north of Longview.
The threat's been pretty low today.
Just south of Ore City, near Longview, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds will be coming into that area here shortly.
Yesterday was an absolute nightmare.
Next SPC outlook for tonight comes out in about 3 minutes.
I think we had 4 or 5 PDS tornado warnings going at once at one time last night, and we had also had a tornado emergency.
Oklahoma City has a tornado watch. Yeah, we have a tornado watch. Again, this tornado watch is the one that was issued multiple hours ago.
Might just be hail there.
Really much of a threat to continue.
Now that's that same rotation that was up in Ashland right here.
Storms will try to fire late this evening and move into Oklahoma City, and those could produce the potential for wind, hail, and maybe another isolated.
I mean, this thing's been rotating ever since I started watching it.
And obviously, if there is anything there that gets concerning, we'll go live again later. But right now, it looks like a pretty low threat. Just waiting for the next SPC outlook. We'll see what it looks like. If there's any changes.
I mean, the rotation continues here. It just hasn't dropped anything back on the ground yet. How you doing, Margaret? Panama City. That's in Florida, right?
Keeping the new studio in Florida. We are not going anywhere.
Pretty sure there's only one Panama City in the United States. Yeah. I knew it was in Florida. I just know the exact location. My family lives in Orlando.
Today should have been enhanced in this area.
Yeah, so you're way up there. Way up by Tallahassee, kind of. Well, you're a ways away from it.
Has panned out very much. I mean, for the most part, the main storms that we've had today were in this corridor, and then also over in, like, not even that corridor. It's mostly been in this corridor and also down here.
Looking like clear skies. Did you get hit by that storm earlier?
Makes much sense today.
Know if you're going to get any rain at all tonight or not. Let me look at the SPC outlook again real quick.
So it mostly stayed off to the west or south.
Looks like you're in the clear. I don't think you'll see any rain tonight. You're south of even the weakest of the rain showers are going to be out here north of you. You've actually seen some tornadoes up in your area, I think, in the last year or two. We've seen a lot of brief spin-ups in the neck of tornado in the last year or two. I don't know if any of them been in Panama City, but I know there's been some nearby it.
To enhance tomorrow? I don't think so. We do have the HRRR is going to be coming out here over the next like 30 minutes, I believe. Let me see if it's come out yet. Or it's starting to come out, maybe. Yeah, it's just coming out now. I mean, this is what it looks like tomorrow in Oklahoma specifically. Again, some storms will try to fire right around 1, 2 o'clock. Mainly with a threat of wind and hail initially, then a tornado threat will likely start to increase, especially if storms fire near our dry line. So by 3 to 4 o'clock, a bunch of storms in and around Oklahoma City, back into southern Kansas. By 5 to 6, these storms will continue to move northeast. I don't really think there will be an enhance anywhere further south of Oklahoma City tomorrow. And once again, the HRRR has done this multiple times in the last few days.
The HRRR is calling for possible tornadic storms to start firing up around 3, 4 o'clock in Oklahoma tomorrow.
Hodographs here are pretty curved. I mean, if we get a supercell here in North Texas, definitely could see a strong tornado, but it's going to depend on storm mode more.
That's a really neat page there. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see this. These are, you see all the circles there? That's where they send up weather balloons all over the United States, and they're basically, you can see the lines drawn in the circles. That's how they basically get the readings for the weather, where the weather balloons basically measuring all the wind speeds and everything and temperatures and all that as the altitude goes up. That's just really neat. You don't see that very often unless you look at this website. It's more like a meteorologist kind of thing.
They're going to be more clustered together down here, so it'd be a little bit harder for that to happen. Again, tomorrow's environment is highly favorable for tornadoes. I mean, it's very favorable.
Sharknadoes. I don't know, man. I wonder how many times a shark's actually been pulled out of the ocean and thrown by a tornado. Because we know it happens with fish. I mean, I know everybody's probably heard of a raining fish somewhere at some point in time, either on YouTube or in history. Because rainstorms and tornadoes are known to pick up fish and throw them down on people. Not even tornadoes, but yeah, you just have like a really crazy updraft that like just pulls up a whole bunch of fish and it rains them down people. But that would actually be pretty neat to see a shark flying through the air. Did they make a movie on that called Sharknado or something? Or
this is tomorrow's risk right now. Again, we have a 10% hatch tornado risk in Kansas and northern Oklahoma. Could grow a bit more. I think they'll probably expand this more tonight to include more central Oklahoma.
The storm's been nasty though. This thing did produce a tornado, but it looks like the rotation's gotten really broad again.
Thank you, Rye, for the super chat, and also thank you to Vicky for the super chat. My electricity is out. It's loud outside. What's happening in Bochito, Oklahoma?
Oklahoma. We lost the power.
That's really about it. Mostly wind right now rolling through your area. Nothing else. Just 60-mile-per-hour winds.
I want to pull up the power outages again from yesterday. I was looking at that.
It's mostly wind. There's still some hail with this.
It's not the page I need.
Pretty close to zero with it, but
power outages.
it's still. I mean, it's still not far from that outflow, I think. But generally speaking, I think the tornado threat's near zero now on this supercell.
That's not the one I want either, but I do want to look at National Weather website.
SPC Outlook still isn't out yet. We should have it at any minute for tonight. Thank you, Amanda, for the super chat. We love your
Storm Prediction Center.
And now my 9-year-old asks to watch you. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Glad he's tuning in.
I want to see yesterday's tornado storm reports. Oh, wait, I was just there. Is this page being tricky right now?
I was like, bro, I don't know where your area is. You didn't put the place there. Where's Tornado Pagey? She's on this supercell. The problem is the storm is so tall. They're using Starlink for connection, but the problem is the storm is towering at 60,000 feet tall.
Where is our tornado reports? Okay.
That's why we've had really rough connection.
Tornado reports for yesterday.
That's now not producing baseballs for hail, but it's now producing more half-dollar sized hail. Hey, Nancy, for the super chat. Even the storms in New York, I don't think that would even classify as like an enhanced or anything.
All right.
Starting to get a little bit better connection here. Yeah, I would have not.
Yesterday.
Is fine up there in New York and Vermont.
Here are tornado reports for yesterday. We had a whole bunch down here by Cape Girardeau, however you say it. And we had the one late night in Kentucky. This is the one where we had a whole bunch of fatalities in London. Tornado that went through here. So many horrible tornadoes yesterday. Oh, Bloomington. That's what I wanted to see. I need to look up Bloomington. Bloomington had some really nasty PDS tornadoes go through there. Then we have Carbondale. Let me in Marion. We looked up the tornado damage in Marion. Let me pull up Bloomfield. I know they said roughly about 30 fatalities so far from yesterday. Sadly. But most of them came from London and Kentucky. One that happened about 1 o'clock in the morning. City name again? Bloomington? Bloomington. See if I have any find any drone footage for Bloomington. Bloomington, Indiana tornado. Oh my. There's when they spotted it. That was one of our PDS warnings yesterday there. One in Bloomington. Well, this thing was down on the ground for a while, and it had, I don't know if this was our tornado emergency or our PDS. I have to go back and look at the stream from yesterday. I actually want to see the drone footage of the damage.
You can actually look at a hodograph and see bunkers left, bunkers right. Basically shows you the direction that storms are going, and that's essentially where
Indiana. Chaos in Indiana today. Brutal storm.
Max, are we vibing? We are vibing. We just got the latest SBC outlook for tonight.
Following a series of...
That's not from Indiana. Bloomington. See if I can find actual drone footage of Bloomington.
So we are back down to a slight risk of severe weather for a large chunk of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Arkansas. I just said Arkansas twice. Louisiana, Texas, and southern Kansas, and a marginal threat from Alabama back into Texas and even southeastern Colorado.
Maybe Bloomington didn't get hit that bad.
And again, there is a tornado risk still tonight, especially after the storm's fire near Oklahoma City later.
Well, this is Clear Creek. That was 23 hours ago.
This one will probably look like by around 10 to 11 o'clock. Possibly some more big storms there near Oklahoma City around.
This was from yesterday in Clear Creek. I was near Bloomington. It's like a bunch of trees were just torn up.
They're a little bit more straight line though, so I think the main concern tonight will be wind and hail near Oklahoma City. But if we can,
this is 23 hours ago. I think I actually saw this footage yesterday from yeah, I seen this video yesterday. This was it was still daytime and they actually got some drone footage of it. Clear Creek. Where was Clear Creek? I think that's near our one reported tornado.
Absolute violent tornado. Just violent. Gotta get ready to back up if it comes at us.
I have a new severe thunderstorm warning in Texas. That is for Harrison, Cass, Wood, Marion,
Bloomington.
There's actually a
Clinton.
possible label on it. I think it's this storm over here.
I'm guessing the one PDS tornado that we had in Bloomington didn't hit any cities, thankfully. Well, it did. Looks like it hit that one, but luckily it hit mostly trees and hardly any houses.
Concern again being 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe an isolated brief tornado with this area of storm activity as it moves towards.
And this thing has just been rotating and rotating, and has 3-inch size hail, so baseball size hail in this storm in a big rotation. But luckily, it's not throwing down a tornado.
Tornado probabilities for the rest of the night. Honestly, kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie. Let me do a closer view though.
Let's bring Max
Good
in.
afternoon. We begin with breaking news.
So these are the tornado probabilities from the Storm Prediction Center. They are still maintaining a 5% tornado risk across much of Oklahoma here for the next few hours, which I don't really agree with for southeast Oklahoma. I guess maybe for west of Oklahoma City if we get a storm or two here over the next few hours. And then this is what it looks like across the board for our tornado risk. So a large 2%, still a 5% back over towards the Longview area of Texas for the next hour. And then that tornado threat is much lower. And then the wind and hail threats have been downgraded to slight, which I'm not going to show you because it's going to take a minute to load on there. But it's the latest for the SBC outlook. But we should have storms initiating here pretty soon, just west of Oklahoma City. So.
Oh, wow, really? We'll stay live a little longer if that's the case.
It's the latest from the SBC. Pagey's actually gotten back out in front of.
Lord, there's literally nothing. So I don't think we had any major damage in Indiana, despite there being PDS warning yesterday. Yeah, it's basically that's it. This is the only damage we had in your city. Was that same video we just watched?
Now, like I said, it is dark right now, but we do have video from what it looked like when there was still some daylight out. Check this out.
London looked really bad. I actually want to pull that back up where our tornadoes was yesterday. Go back to that page.
I was looking for Longview, Texas. 60-mile-per-hour winds the main concern. If there's a tornado threat, it would be more to your north.
All the red T's are where the tornadoes were. Then you got like winds for blue. H's for the hail.
There is a new severe thunderstorm watch.
Sykeston. I need to check out Sykeston.
Really tiny one. Includes like I think that's one county. Is that one county or is that two counties? It's one of the smallest severe thunderstorm watches I've ever seen. This is near Del Rio, Texas. I think that's two counties right there that are included in that severe watch. Actually, no,
that was the tornado.
It's condensed. Never mind. All right, it's
not for broadcast. I should probably take that off so I can leave it for a second. So that was the tornado on top of Sykeston.
They canceled the watch for most of like areas like Waco and stuff like that. So
drone footage shows tornado damage in southern Kentucky. That we've already seen that one. Here's Somerset. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Yeah, this was the town. This was the town before London. Not going to play it because it says not for broadcast. But yeah, that was the Somerset. That town didn't get like a proper warning. It was just a regular tornado warning, but we saw a debris ball go through Somerset. So Somerset.
10 minutes or so, I think the bats are going to be taken off here near Austin and San Antonio. The sun hasn't set quite yet.
Somerset and London both got hit. There's a Somerset. We saw it go through both towns, but London's the one where like there's a report of 20 fatalities in London.
What most storm chasers are probably going to do here over the next like hour is probably position over in Oklahoma City for another severe weather threat tonight. So
I'm gonna go back to the drone footage from London so you guys can see that was a really bad one, sadly. I don't know what the ratings are for that one. London, Kentucky. Yeah, this one was, man. WX chasing. This was in London, Kentucky. I can't believe how this town got hit.
And Kansas City's kind of the same way. I think the chances of a tornado are lower over there, but mainly hail and wind. Should be pretty scattered in those areas.
Unreal. This over.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's going to conclude our severe weather coverage, at least for now. We might go live again later if things get going back over in western Oklahoma, but we are going to continue live coverage at least for the next hour or two with Riley, and then if things start picking up,
it was bad in Kentucky.
So make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you're notified when we do go live.
We have so many reports from yesterday.
Because it's not as big of a day, but tomorrow we will be live for a large chunk of the day tomorrow, and as well as Monday and Tuesday. So make sure you're subscribed and click the bell icon so you're notified.
Yeah, we had a lot of damage in Kentucky. And this happened late at night. This was at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Poor people. We're probably still doing search and rescue out there with every single house. There's just stuff everywhere. That was like a blender of debris. Unreal. I mean, this thing's probably getting rated at least an EF3, EF4. That is just crazy. Look how little of that house is left. Man. Well, we have no tornado warnings. This storm was rotating, but get back to the regular velocities. It looks really broad. We got 2 areas of rotation, but it's really broad. And then, I know Max was just saying that we have some storms that might form up here west of Oklahoma City here soon. Yeah, it looks like there's one forming right there, right next to Watauga, a little blip forming up. Coming out of nowhere. Looks like that's moving more northeast. Yeah, this was our tornadic storm there for the longest time. You'd have a tornado. This wasn't at the very start. This was probably about an hour ago, but yeah, this thing did drop a tornado there about 2.5 hours ago. But it's been rotating this whole time, but it really hasn't produced. It looks like it's falling apart. It's merging in with that other storm. Yeah, the way I'm seeing it is, yeah, we have no tornado warning, so I'm going to go ahead and end it for the night. If we do get any severe-looking storms that do pop up here in the next hour, I will start the stream back up. But hey, I really appreciate everybody stopping in. Please hit the like and subscribe button and stop back anytime. Also, too, you know, when we have areas where we got, like, much wider, you know, areas of severe weather, I like to help people out. Anybody that comes into chat, they can ask, you know, about their area, and I can pull it up for you. But I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks for stopping.